All right, so good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished invited guests, live studio audience, and for those of you who have joined us via Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television, here's a warm welcome to the 2025 7th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. I thought that deserved a resounding round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this all-important annual forum has become one of the most important gatherings in our entertainment industry. It's a space where ideas meet policy and conversations spark solutions. And we couldn't have had a more timely theme for this edition. We are exploring taxation and the future of Ghana's creative and digital economy. Now, at the heart of this theme is an all-important, simple yet powerful question we're asking. What is the true price of creativity? And we ought to ask this question because you'll agree with me when I say that over the years we've seen members of the creative industry. When I say that, I mean our musicians, our filmmakers, our digital entrepreneurs, our content creators, fashion innovators. They have worked tirelessly, relentlessly, and creatively to shape our cultural identity and our global appeal. But I've also complained bitterly about the heavy taxation imposed on them by the Ghana Revenue Authority and how that is gradually impeding the growth of the industry. It's not making it possible to get investment. It's not making it possible to compete in the industry. On the other side, we have the Ghana Revenue Authority, a government institution mandated with the core role of mobilizing resources for national development. And so really, there's a divide. How do we strike a balance in this divide? How do we ensure fairness and responsibility with taxation while ensuring that we support our creative economy? Thankfully, we get to bring both sides of the coin to the table, to the Showbiz Roundtable, to engage in a very forward-looking, progressive conversation. And so if you've joined us, well, it's a good time investment you've done. And so thank you so much for your patronage. We do not take that for granted. This show is powered by Joy Entertainment, excellently planned and produced by Philip Nine with support from Anita Tay and Martin Asari. I think they deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And also shouts to our social media executives, to Olivier and Nee Apnes for ensuring that we're live on all our social media platforms. Kudos to you guys. Also to the crew members manning the back room, camera technicians and all. Thank you so much. My name is Noella Karanyali. I'm not your moderator. Pretty shortly, I'll be introducing your moderator to you. But I'm your compare. And 5 out of 7 editions I've compared. I think I deserve a round of applause too. Thank you. Thank you so much. So use the hashtag Showbiz Roundtable. It's an interactive show. We encourage you to join us with your thoughts as the show progresses. It promises to be a very, very insightful session. And so once again, welcome to the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. After this, we get started. You're welcome, Mag. This is Joy Prime Television. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the 7th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. We are live across our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter. It's an interactive show. And so we need you to interact with us using the hashtag Showbiz Roundtable. Now, we need to also welcome you officially. And so let me not waste too much time. Distinguished speakers, industry leaders, policymakers, creative talent, and our cherished audience here in studio across Joy FM, Joy Prime TV, and all our digital platforms. It is my privilege on behalf of Joy FM and the Multimedia Group to welcome you to the 7th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. Now, every year, this platform has sought to be more than just a conversation. It's a bridge, a meeting point for ideas, perspectives, and above all, solutions. And today's theme goes right in the heart of that mission: taxation and the future of Ghana's creative and digital economy. Now, across the world, nations are awakening to the power of creativity. The global creative economy generates over 2.2 trillion United States dollars annually, employing millions from Hollywood in the United States to Nollywood in Nigeria to K-pop in South Korea, which has become not just music, but a multi-billion-dollar export strategy. Now, if K-pop can power South Korea's GDP and Nollywood can rival Hollywood in terms of output, then Ghana has no excuse. Our creativity is our untapped gold mine. Now, these examples remind us that the arts are not just leisure luxuries, but the creative economy is also not a charity work. It is a national wealth in disguise, but only if we are prepared to unlock it. But here in Ghana, our creative and digital entrepreneurs raise a critical concern. Now, while they fuel innovation and cultural identity, they also face the weight of high taxation. That threatens the sustainability and growth. And so, as we know, a nation that taxes creativity without nurturing it is like cutting down a tree and expecting it to bear fruit. At the same time, government, through the Ghana Revenue Authority, has the responsibility of mobilizing resources for our schools, for our hospitals, our roads, for nation building. So the question really isn't about how relevant taxes are. It is. The real question is, how do we balance the equation? How do we design a tax regime that fuels rather than frustrates the growth of creativity? How do we make taxation an enabler of innovation rather than a penalty on it? Or, as I would like to put it, taxation must not be a wall that stifles creativity, but a bridge that connects innovation to national development. On behalf of Joy FM and the Multimedia Group Limited, I welcome you all to what promises to be a bold, necessary, and forward-looking dialogue. May today's roundtable session spark not only a debate, but solutions that serve the future of our creative and digital economy, and indeed, the future of Ghana. So once again, you're welcome. So gradually we're building the show. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of some of our attendees. And so Nana Sase, thank you so much. He's a poet, brilliant one at that. Thank you so much for joining us. Edamen Sachotome, I don't think he's here yet. I'm sure he's on his way. Abina Ruthie is a gospel musician, one of our great exports as well. She's the second vice president of Musica as well. Thank you so much. ZK Ike Jr., is he here? Thank you so much. He's a blogger. Thank you for coming. We have Ninoy, who is a gospel ambassador, and he'll hate this, but he's also the member, or should I say the leader, of Gospel Pressure Group Table of Men. He will kill me for this, but I've said it. And as time progresses, I'll be introducing to you more of our attendees. But remember, this is the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable, and it's proudly powered by Joy Entertainment, and we are live across all our social media platforms, and so do join us with your thoughts as the show progresses. We would love it. Okay, so now we've gotten to the point where I get to introduce to you your speakers. And so in no particular order, because we're rushing against time, I'm going to read their profiles to you, and then we get to have them come onto the podium. So in no particular order, we start with Victor Yao Akogo, who's the Chief Revenue Officer, Domestic Tax Revenue Division. I understand you cannot come to the podium yet, and so when I mention their names, you can just help with a round of applause, if that's okay. So yeah, thank you so much, sir. Now, Mr. Victor Akogo has over 25 years experience in tax administration. He's a Chief Revenue Officer and Head of Modified Taxation Project, Domestic Tax Revenue Division, that's the DTRD. He works closely with the Deputy Commissioner Operations, responsible for monitoring and supervising 27 taxpayer service centers, ensuring voluntary tax compliance with respect to registration, return filing, and payment. And he's also a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, Ghana. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. If you can stand up a bit so we acknowledge you properly. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We also have Isaac Kobina Amoako, who is the Chief Revenue Officer and Head of the IT Training Center and the Training and Development Department of Ghana Revenue Authority. He is the Deputy Project Manager for the Fiscal Electronic Devices Committee and also a member of the Modified Taxation Project team. He was formerly the head of the project management unit in the Transformation Office, and he was a technical lead on both e-levy, Technical Committee, as well as the E-Levy Research Committee, set up under the direction of the Economic Management Team and the Government of Ghana. Now, he was the ICT technical lead on the cashless project of the GRA, which automated all payment of taxes to GRA into a cashless system. And Isaac was a member of the first ICT expert committee for the Africa Tax Administration Forum, that's the ATAF. And he has also been very instrumental with research in digital public infrastructure, works with an international center for tax development. He has a background in computer science and has been involved in major ICT initiatives within the Ghana Revenue Authority. Thank you so much for joining us too, sir. And now I get to introduce to you members of our creative industry in no particular order. I begin with Latif Abubakar, who is a playwright and the chief executive director of Globe Productions. Now, he founded the organization, that's Globe Productions, in 2009 and has worked with notable actors, including Echo Smith-Asante, Ajete Anand, Clemento Suarez, Ofori Bismarck, Pearl Dake, Paul Kweku, and Alexandra Bailey. Now, he was the first playwright in Ghana to live stream his play, Thank God for Idiots, virtually on YouTube amid ban on public gathering during the COVID-19 period. And he plays romantic nonsense. I can't think far. That's some of his plays. You May Kiss the Corpse, Something Must Kill a Man, and many more. Now, Latif won the Tourism and Culture Awards for his creative works in art, culture, and entertainment through his plays at the Ghana Tourism Authority. And we're so honored to have him as part of our speakers. Thank you so much, Latif. If you can wave. Thank you so much. Now, Francis Doku. He's a distinguished figure in the Ghanaian marketing, communications, and media industry, renowned for his extensive experience and significant contributions spanning over 2 decades and a half. Now, his media career began with Graphic Showbiz, where his exceptional reporting skills and editorial insight quickly propelled him to the influential positions as the country's foremost newspaper columnist and radio and television pundit on arts, tourism, and entertainment. As General Manager Digital in 2017 and General Manager TV in 2020 at Media General, he introduced innovative programs, boosting TV3's viewership from 15% to 40% market share. And he holds a bachelor's degree in business administration and executive MBA in marketing from the University of Ghana Business School. He's passionate about travel and tourism in Africa and dedicated to community and charitable activities promoting media literacy and education in Ghana. Currently, he serves as the Chief Operating Officer of Maestro Africa Group and the West Africa Regional Representative for Africa Tourism Partners. Thank you so much, Francis, for joining. It's like the applause is low. I'm not feeling it. Thank you. Now, Robert Klah is the head of public events and communications for Charterhouse, where he oversees legacy brands like Telecel Ghana Music Awards, Miss Malaika Ghana, and a Night of 100 Loves series. Now, he's a creative entrepreneur who has birthed and overseen Dance Centra, Ghana Dance Industry Awards, and the Ghana Dance Festival. In media, he is a regular entertainment pundit on Daybreak Hits, an award-winning entertainment show, and a flagship program of Hits 103.9 FM, the entertainment wing of the Multimedia Group Limited. I'm not sure he's here yet, but hopefully he will join us pretty shortly. And so, Robert, if you can hear us, we're waiting for you. All right, so let's now move to Kojo Poku. Kojo Poku is an executive director of Big Ideaz Consult and VP of Event and Meeting Professionals Association of Ghana. He was also a local partner of Global Citizen Festival that happened in Accra in 2022. Thank you so much. I'm not sure he's also here yet. Is he? All right. Okay, so he'll be joining us via Zoom, so definitely. Last but certainly not least, Nana Sase is the professional name of Philip Wachidua Oyinka, a prominent Ghanaian poet, writer, literary coach, and storyteller. Now, he's known for his deep appreciation of Akan oratory and Ghanaian folklore. His work blends English and Twi to create unique literary art, and his professional name was given to him by his grandmother and means King of the Earth in the Twi dialect. Thank you so much, Anasase, for joining us. So these are your speakers from the creative industry. That being said, it's now time for me to introduce to you your moderator. But before that, we want to tell you that we're live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime Television. It's the 7th edition of the Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. Our theme for this edition is Taxation and the Future of Ghana's creative and digital economy. At the heart of it, we're asking what the true price of creativity is, and we've got members of the Ghana Revenue Authority and the creative industry as well here to engage in a dialogue that's aimed at finding solutions, not to fight, like a lot of people would love to believe. And so we encourage you to be interactive with us via social media platforms. Use the hashtag Joy FM Showbiz Roundtable. And of course, I'll be here reading your comments and sharing them with the rest of the world. That being said, let me introduce to you your moderator. He is no alien, no stranger. If you followed our show, our editions, our past editions, I'm sure you know him. But for the newbies, Kwame Dadzie is an entertainment journalist who works at the Multimedia Group. He hosts Ghana's most authoritative entertainment show, the Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM. For the past 16 years of being in the showbiz space, Kwame Dadzie has served various capacities as entertainment journalist in print media, radio, and television, and he has also been instrumental in different forms of activism for the cultural and creative industries. He's our GOAT here as well at Multimedia Group Limited, and so it's no surprise that he gets to moderate an all-important session as these. And so if you're not too busy and you can stand, please welcome in your moderator. Okay. You know, production and technicalities and all of that. So my backroom members are telling me let's go for a quick musical breather. And when we come back, of course, I get to reintroduce to you again your moderator. It's a Showbiz Roundtable, guys. Stay tuned in.
Thank you very much for staying with us right here on Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television. This is Showbiz Roundtable, the 7th edition, and this is where we get together with all the creatives and tourism professionals to share ideas on all the issues plaguing our industry. Today, we're here to talk about something that is dear to the hearts of all creatives, taxation. Yeah, by the end of this program, we are sure to have all the answers we seek in the world of show business, and particularly when it comes to taxes in the creative industry. My name is Kwame Dadzie. This show is produced by Philip Nye with support from Martin Asari. We have Anita Te as well supporting, and then on social media we have Oliver Fayon and then me Apnes, and we're live on Joy 99.7 FM, manjoyonline.com. We're live on X, live on Facebook, live on Radio Garden, live on TuneIn, and everywhere. So today, our assignment is very simple. For the past years, all the concerns we've raised regarding taxes in our creative enterprises, we're here to find all the answers. And just to start, let me remind you that we have here with us Victor Yao Akogo, and he is Chief Revenue Officer, Domestic Tax Revenue Division of the GRA. He's here with us today. We also have Isaac Kobina Amoako, who is Chief Revenue Officer and Head of GRA IT Training Center. Then we have the Executive Director of Big Ideas Consult and Vice President of Events and Meetings Association in the person of Nana Poku, Kojo Poku. He will be joining us as well. And then literary coach and poet Nana Sase is also here with us today. Not forgetting Francis Doku, who is CEO of Maestro Africa Group, and he's West Africa rep for Africa Tourism Partners. We also have joining us later Robert Klah. He is head of public events and communications, Charterhouse. And then Latif Abubakar is here, playwright and CEO of Globe Productions. Gentlemen, welcome to Showbiz Roundtable 7th edition.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And let me say welcome to our contributors who are here as well, gleaning from the various aspects of the creative industry. Welcome for coming. Okay, and then, so this is what we are going to do. We are going to have the discussion in 3 parts. So after the first part, we're going to have a break where we invite our contributors here to also give us their questions, bring in the questions, and then we get answers from our panel here with us today. And if you're listening or watching us, you can also send in your comments via 0551 575757, or you can do so via our various social media handles, and we get them read live on air. Okay, so let me start with you, Victor Akogo, who is the Chief Revenue Officer, Domestic Tax Revenue Division. What are your expectations for today's event?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. It is a privilege and an honor to be part of this big show. My expectation is that at the end of the section, every creative will come to understand the importance of taxation and also ready to contribute his quota towards the development of this country. Thank you.
Did you hear that?
Oh, yes, we did.
Okay, to understand. Nana's asking, what are your expectations?
Okay, so by the end of the show, I hope to understand, like was mentioned,
Good.
Understand taxation, why it's important. Of course, we know why it's important,
Yeah.
but practically how it must be done, properly done, and how it promotes the work of artists.
Great.
Otherwise, why artists should be encouraged to look into other jurisdictions which treat them better in terms of taxation.
Awesome. Thank you, Nana Sase. Francis Doku, expectations.
Thank you so much. I expect that we have a very, interesting conversation. Let me say that this is not a face-off. This is conversational and discussion,
Okay.
so that we
It's
will
not a
all.
battle.
No, it's not. It's not a battle. It's just for, I believe, people within the creative space, both creatives and people who run creative businesses, to properly understand what the situation is with our law on taxation, so that when we are contributing, we know what we're contributing to. So I expect that we'll have a good dialogue, and then afterwards we'll properly understand why we contribute to.
Thank you very much, Francis. Latif.
Of course, we know how important taxation is to every economy in the world.
Yeah.
We know taxation is the lifeblood of every economy, including that of Ghana. But we should also know that the creative arts or the creative economy should be treated like a garden that actually requires nurturing, not over pruning. So I expect today to share some insights on how GRA and then the creatives could work together as partners to tap into the booming creative industry.
Awesome. Okay, let me go to Isaac.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting the GRA. My expectation is that after this dialogue, some few misconceptions can be demystified, taxes will be embraced, the creatives will grow, and we'll have a better Ghana.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your expectations with us. Showbiz Roundtable 7th edition, and we're here to learn more about taxes. Let me start with you, Victor Akogo. So let's do some education now.
Yeah.
Could you run us through some of the types of taxes we have in Ghana?
Thank you very much. Ghana Revenue Authority is the only institution mandated by law to mobilize revenue for the development of the state. And taxes is a creature of law, and Article 174 states that it is only Parliament that enact tax laws for the GRA to administer.
Okay.
So it is the law that has been administered by Parliament or enacted by Parliament, which is People's Assembly, that makes the law, and GRA administers it. The various types of taxes or tax laws that have been enacted includes the Income Tax Act, 2015, Act 896. Then you also have the VAT Act 2013, Act 870, and also Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915. The Income Tax Act empowers GRA to charge tax on persons who earn employment income, business income, and investment income. And anyone who earns employment income, the law enjoins the employer to withhold tax from the salary that he pays to the employee. And that tax is what we call pay as you earn. Then if you are in business, you can be in business as a corporate entity or as an individual. If you are in business as a corporate entity, your objective is to make profit. And if you make profit, you pay 25% of your profit as tax to the Republic of Ghana for the development of the country, which includes road construction, which includes hospitals, which includes, social interventions like free SHS, and also providing security for all of us. We say again, finally, that when you earn an investment income, then you are compelled, for example, if you rented a property out, you are compelled to pay tax on the rent. Finally, also, if you become a businessman and your turnover is more than 200,000, the law says that the government should appoint you as a VAT agent. So the price you charge for the services you render, you add 15% of it, which is VAT. And you collect your 100,000 at the end of the session from the consumers, and also 15% for the government. So you pay.
Could you explain that some more?
Okay, to explain that, I'm saying that the law enjoins you, the service provider, the creative industry players, to event organizers, bloggers, YouTubers, all service providers, content creators, that if you are to charge 100 Ghana cedis from your customers, the law enjoins you, per the VAT Act, to add 15% to the 100 Ghana cedis and charge 115. The law further goes to say that because of Get Fund, because of NHIL, add 2.5 to your gross amount for Get Fund, and 2.5 as NHIL, and 1% as COVID levy. So you add 6% to the 100 Ghana cedis, then you apply a tax of 15%, which is the VAT, to the 106 Ghana cedis, and that becomes VAT. You collect that money from your customers or your consumers who come to watch your program or your show. Then you take your 100 Ghana cedis, then you give the 15%, the 6% to the Republic of Ghana.
We will get into this. Yeah, there are so many questions to ask, but you took us through the various forms of taxes we have in Ghana now. So which of these, apart from what you just mentioned, apply to creatives?
Okay. All applies to the
all
creative,
of them,
because for the creative industry, as an individual, you are in business. You are not somebody said a Father Christmas. You are in business to earn income, and the law says that if you earn income, you ought to pay personal income tax or corporate income tax if you are a corporate entity. Now, the law goes further to say that service providers must be agents of the government in collecting VAT, because you, the creative, you are now a taxable person. You are expected to register for VAT or first register for either a personal income tax or a corporate income tax, and in addition to that, you register for value added tax, which is a consumption tax. Your followers, 2,000 people who are following you, they are consuming your service. So as they follow you, you should be able to tell them that let us contribute 15% plus 6% to government in the form of value-added tax, which is a consumption tax. And because you are a popular figure, 7,000 people, 5,000 people are following you, when you speak, they are ready to listen to you. And through that, you contribute towards the development of the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaac, does it matter how much you earn as a creative before maybe you pay tax? Does it matter?
As my colleague had already explained to you, there are two main taxes that we collect, the direct
And
the indirect. For the direct, as the word says, it based on your earnings. So if you earn more, you give us more. If you earn less, you give us
If
less.
I earn 50 Ghana cedis,
If you don't earn anything, you don't give us anything. So tax is also a bit mathematical. It is based on a principle that what I earn, I have to expend. Now, if my earnings outshines my expenditure, the difference is what I have to pay tax on. So if I break even, I don't have to pay anything. If I'm making loss, I don't have to pay anything. So that is the principle. The difference between what comes in, what you expend, that is what you pay the taxes on. Now, for economies that are formal, there are ways of checking evidence to back your revenue and your expenditure. So the dispute between the taxman and yourself is minimized because there are ways I can audit or find your income and your expenditure. Unfortunately, in our terrain, we don't seem to have that kind of evidence base. So now it becomes a conversation between what I think you have earned and your actual earnings. So I have to tell you that this is what you have earned, and you have to dispute that no, this is what I have earned. Now, how can you tell me I'm wrong? You only have to provide me evidence. If you fail to provide the evidence to me, then my words weighs more than yours.
it means your way of measuring how much is earned is unscientific.
It is scientific. I'm just building a certain basis.
Okay.
It should be based on scientific, which data you should have. Because what you spend and what you earn, you are the rightful person who have that information. I don't. If I have it elsewhere, I can audit and challenge you. If I don't, and you have, yours supersedes mine. It is only when you don't have, I don't have, then mine supersedes yours.
All right, we are seeking education on taxation here on Showbiz Roundtable 7th edition, live on Joy 99.7 FM and Joy Prime Television. And already you've heard from Victor and Isaac. Now, let me get to the creatives. Over the years, we've complained. Now, what are some of the complaints? Let me start with you, Latif.
I think that even before I talk about complaints,
Yes.
I would like to highlight the benefits of the creative economy
Also,
to the contribution of GDP on our economy. The essence now, I think one of the major things the GRA wants to do is to widen
tax net.
the tax net. So they have an opportunity now to help us widen. Both the GRA and the creatives have an opportunity to widen the tax net. And why do I say so? Globally, the global creative economy contributes close to 4.1 trillion. When you come to sub-Saharan Africa, the GDP for creative economy is close to 4%, which is about $58 billion. When you now come to Ghana, our projection when it comes to the contribution of the creative economy to our GDP is 2.5%, which is roughly calculated around $20 to $30 billion. that the creative can contribute to the economy
This
annually.
is projection.
Yes, projection. That is if we do things right.
What is the actual figure?
And for the actual, currently,
It may be difficult to get.
very difficult to get the actual figure because we don't
difficult?
have. Yes, because we don't have data. We don't have data, proper data on the creative economy. I remember some few years back, we started those particular process in gathering data. But the projection basically is we could raise up to 20 to 30 billion annually from the creative economy in Ghana. But this is the case where tax is actually crippling the creative industry in a way. And I'll explain, giving just a practical experience from one of my colleagues, who is also a fellow playwright, decided to set up his own company, embark on productions like we do. Only for him, of course, it's a first production. It's hardly for you to even break even. But you know, the notion where when it comes to theater or creative events, mostly we give out complimentary tickets for people to have an experience of what we showcase.
You mean free tickets?
Free tickets.
Good. Use the word free.
They still call it complimentary. so, for instance, I do productions. I have a production today. For each show, I have a seat of about 1,500. I give a complimentary ticket for about 200. For each show, out of 1,500, 200 will be complimentary. And such a person gave out complimentary tickets because he wanted people to at least see what he has, so that you can buy people to begin experiencing the arts subsequently. So he gave out complimentary tickets. At the end of the day, after the show, what happened? He didn't make money. In fact, he lost massively. But then GRA reached out to him and said, you know what? You have given out 500 tickets. And out of the 500 tickets, we have calculated our 15 plus 6% on each of the tickets. So you owe us close to 10,000. Well, this is a guy who is already owing 30,000. That was the end of the company. He's never actually staged any production again. And this is real. So I'm saying that there is an industry that could help us widen the tax net. We need to sit as stakeholders to really think through as to what we can do. Because GRA needs money. The creative also needs money. And there is that opportunity to tap into that money. There is huge revenues. Other industries are doing it. Uganda and Co are doing it. So why don't we sit and have a conversation on how we could tap into that industry, rather than thinking that because the law says, traditionally, the law says that we need to take 15 plus, 6 plus, so and so on each ticket, whether it is a complimentary or a free ticket or not, and you are losing, we will still take the amount to cripple you down. I mean, they might not think about it that way in terms of crippling you down because they're doing their work. But for a creative, the person will definitely think about the fact that, Charlie, the economy is just there to cripple us. And there's no need to embark on this journey again. So for me, one of the major challenges is trying to have a way around some of the traditional arrangements in our laws that stimulates or gives the GRA or mandates the GRA. So they don't have a choice. They are mandated to execute what has been written. So we need to be able to have a way around that. Otherwise, most enterprises are dead before arrival. That's what is happening. A lot of them. So we are unable to tap into that economy. Look at what Kigali is doing. Whilst Ghana is targeting 2.5, they are at 5.3% of their GDP because they are promoting tech creativity and tech innovation. One of the best economies when it comes to creative economy in Africa. So we should begin thinking about widening the tax net using the creative economy as the basis. And that means there must be this kind of conversation of how they tax us.
Thank you, Latif Abubakar. Good one there, Francis Doku.
Thank you so much. And just building on what Latif said, I think the conversation has to go beyond just the GRA.
Yeah.
Because like Mr. Akogo mentioned, they only implement what law has been passed by Parliament. And so the conversation needs to go beyond just the GRA to have, lobbying and making sure that we convince Parliament and those who make the laws and the policies that there's a particular sector that needs a bit of, as Latif mentioned, pruning or proper nurturing to ensure that they grow. Because let's face it, that sector employs a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, if, for instance, somebody has a production at the National Theatre, the number of people that are touched, if that production goes well, is a lot. People from actors to dancers to AV providers to, costumers to so many. So the value chain is wide. And so there's a need to look at how to properly engage that particular sector to make sure that we don't kill it, as it were. I mean, if somebody wants to invest in some area, maybe like free zones and industries and all that, they are giving tax breaks sometimes, tax holidays, even tax waivers. I think it is also possible to look at this particular sector and say that if you are into this area and you're trying to bring up people, maybe if you employ 10 people, that's 10 people who can feed maybe about 100 more people if they earn, so the multiplier effect will be wide. But if you cut that off, you're cutting off a lot of people who would have depended on that person who has that business or run that business. And so there's a need, in my view, to look at how to properly treat that creative sector and say that maybe let's have a special tax. I recall that there was a time when the VAT rates had two different, there was I think 12.5%, and then there was the 3% for small businesses and others within a certain threshold. Now we've taken it all up to 15% VAT and then 6% levies.
Yeah.
Now, even the calculation of that, and this is not a doing, I believe, of the GRA, but it's of the doing of Parliament.
Yeah.
Where you calculate the 6% on the subtotal before you calculate the VAT on all that.
Yes.
That is double taxation.
Yeah.
And I believe maybe they can talk to that. But you learn in tax law that you're not supposed to be taxed twice. But that's what it is. But it is not GRA. The law came and Parliament said this is it, and it was signed off and they are implementing it. But I think we need to have conversation, and that affects everybody, not just the creative sector anyway. But because this is, in my view, a bit of a specialized area where people are trying to struggle to come up, it hits them heavier than it will hit other people. So I think there's a need to properly see specialized areas, and I believe the creative sector is one of those. Yeah. And look at taxes and not have a one-size-fits-all taxes for everybody to pay, but see how you can encourage two different taxes, tax breaks, tax holidays, and waivers for particular things happening. For instance, if I give complimentary ticket, I knew previously that if you give complimentary ticket, you don't pay VAT on that, or you don't pay tax on that. But it's a bit surprising, as Latif is saying, that you give complimentary and you're still taxed. Yeah. I mean, because you have to pay tax on what you earn. But if I don't earn anything for that, I think there must be a way not to tax me, because then once you do that, you're taking away the money that I can use for that thing and then it would clean. So I believe that conversation one has to start from where the policy and the laws are made. And I hope that some of the parliamentarians and the lawmakers and the committee that is responsible for creative arts is looking. Thankfully, we have a lot of some of these people in our sector in Parliament and in government, and all that. So they understand the issues. And so I think there's a need for that conversation to happen. And secondly, also, I don't think we need to have one tax for everybody. There must be a way to properly have specialized taxes for some sectors. And I think the creative sector is one of them.
All right. Thank you, Francis Doku. And we've been joined on Zoom by Kojo Poku, who is CEO of Big Ideaz Consult. He is on Zoom now with us. Later, we'll be joined by Klah as well. But before that, let me come to you, Nana Sase. So what are some of the challenges you've gone through? You are an event organizer as well, a creative who puts up your events.
Yeah.
When it comes to taxes, what have been the challenges?
Okay, mine is a very practical example. My last event was November, sometime last year. Okay, so I had a lot of people come on to support us. One thing that happens in our creative space, because we collaborate with each other, sometimes you have your event, someone wants to give you light, someone wants to give you sound. Now the ticket sales, I'm glad GRA arrived very early. They were with the tickets, they were the ticket stand, and I'm glad they were there.
Okay.
Our ticket sales were not up to 7K. That was not even up to the cost of my stage and my trusses alone when the event was done. Oh, I think they still want to collect tax. I have to follow up and find out how that conversation went with Ajuman. You know. Yeah, stage and trusses had not even been.
No.
Yeah. You know, so these are some harsh realities you get to face off. 2, I feel some of the people who come on the field to want to enforce these regulations need a lot of training. By virtue of what I do, I am a master of language or handling language.
Yeah.
I can tell you different things by invoking Sebi. I'm done. Do you get my point? So the fact that you've been sent to enforce a law, that is okay. But you do not have to abuse, you know, that mandate you have been given to come and enforce the laws. There have been events where, you know, you meet tax officials and people at the ticket desk having, you know,
going back and forth,
hot exchanges and some of the bits. Now, on the back of what, you know, Latif and Francis have said, let me put in something. I believe that when you have not taught, you don't expect results. When you haven't taught, you don't expect results. Now, I would appreciate it that GRA would realize, like my father said, you know, that artists are a very powerful tool who draw a lot of following. Now, so make the artist understand, like we are attempting to do now, and then we can be agents of disseminating, you know, this information, not only to artists, but to everybody else who needs to hear the message. Now, I like the expression, the creative economy. Now, we are all lumped up into the bigger economy. That's why we want to have one size fits all taxes for all of us. So even in the creative economy, I think maybe the GRA, which has been taxed to enforce taxes, in order to be effective, should look at the creative economy out of the bigger, you know, Ghanaian picture, and study the nuances of that industry and see how they fashion taxes. Because if Ghana's creative economy was picked, some of them will be high ends, some will be SMEs, some might be, you know, cottage, you know, industries, depending on what is going on. Because when we talk of creatives, people are usually thinking of actors, poets, playwrights. There's also the visual arts. There are other art forms we might not even be taxed, we might not even know, you know, exist. So if the GRA would commit itself on probably a different platform, let us learn what the art is, what goes into it, what is the value chain, what does the value chain look like. Some of these value chains might not even be documented. 3, Kwame, somebody set out to explore their talent. He didn't set out to probably start a business. So like we say, business never told or coin. So, you know, business happened to, by virtue of the way he's exploring his art form. All right. And so I believe our best way to go, based on everything that has come up, is proper education. When you have taught and something has gone amiss, then you can come and hold this person to tax. Let's say I speak Onichi or I speak Oliga. All these policy documents are in English. Some English that how am I supposed to understand?
Yeah.
Do you get my point? So I feel there again we should look at how well we have taught. What have we taught? Then we look at the results to expect. Then collaboration would be the next step after education has gone down well.
Thank you, Nana Sase. Still right here. This is Showbiz Roundtable, 7th edition, live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime. We're also live across our social media handles. To the audience in here, I'll be coming to you in a moment, so get ready with your questions. So I'll take about 2 or 3 questions from you. Then we get to the second set of questions for our panel. Then we move on. You can send in your comments as well via 0551 575757. 0551 575757. Send them through so we can read them live on air. All right. Okay. And we have some of our friends on Zoom. Kojo Poku is on Zoom. Robert Klah is also on Zoom. And so we'll be talking to them in a moment. All right, so let me come to the audience. Yeah, if you have any question, you just raise up your hand and then we give you the microphone to talk. Okay, let's take two. All right, let me take Kojo Poku first. I'll come to you later. Kojo Poku is CEO of Big Ideaz Consult. He's on Zoom now. Hello, Kojo, can you hear me? Hello, Kojo. Okay, it appears we're having difficulty connecting with him now. Kojo, please unmute. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay, Kwame. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to my colleague creatives. Apologies for not being able to make it, but I definitely want to be on this. And I just want to make it snappy.
Okay.
I just want to put it out there that it's rather unfortunate that the creative industry has been left with very little when it comes to taxation. So what am I saying? It seems as if every industry has an opportunity to discuss tax issues in this country, except for the creatives. Once upon a time, the traders complained about how much taxes that they paid, that consumers pay whenever they purchase goods from them. Government sat down with them, and they were able to bring down the VAT from, at that time, the 12.5% to a flat rate of 3%. A 3% flat rate was given to traders to put on their goods that they sell in the market. I am yet to be invited to a discussion about creatives and taxation by the GRA, where our issues are taken into consideration. Our industry is at its infant stage. Let's make it clear. The fact that we have the likes of George Quaidem's coming up with events every now and then at the National Theatre, we are still at our infant stage, and we need every little help that we can get as an industry to grow. So if somebody starts a new concept of a festival, a fashion show, whatever that they intend to do, very first time that person uses their own funds to rent a venue, pay for all the equipment, pay for every single line item on the expense sheet, and GRA comes, and GRA is saying that whatever it is, whether you make a profit or you make a loss, we want to tax you for it. In an industry where we are basically on our knees, it seems like GRA is doing their job as prescribed by the Constitution, but then they are not understanding the needs and the potential. Because as Latif said, the potential is for us to grow to become like the Hollywoods of the world, where we can be giving so much money to the state. But until we get to that point, there needs to be some conversation that understands our needs and is able to position the taxes that are applied in our industry very well. Because it seems as if the taxes that we apply is what you apply. It's like a one size fits all. But we cannot be boxed up in that one size fits all. 21.5 or 21% is too much to put on a ticket. If I want to do an international concert and I am paying artists several hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'm paying so much for his travel, I'm paying so much for hotel, I'm paying so much for venue, I'm paying so much for equipment, I'm paying so much for production, I'm paying so much for advertising. And this is an event that has the potential to grow to become something big. And at the very first time that I do that event, the tax man is right there taking his pound of flesh. He might be doing what legitimately he's supposed to do, but he's not helping me grow. And I don't think that as GRA and as a government, institution, they're only mandated to just, be playing their role in one direction. It also has to be looked at in such a way that they do not cripple the industry and tax us out of business, because there is so much potential. There's so much potential from the business, but it has to grow to the level where we will be in the position to pay the taxes that the GRA wants to take. But until such a time where we have that discussion and we sit down and we come up with a figure, I think the 21% that they put on ticket sales, it's just too much. And then also the issue that Francis raised, Latif raised about, complimentary ticket. Almost every event in Ghana is at the mercy of sponsors. Otherwise, you are not going to even break even. And so if I'm trying to attract sponsors and I am saying, hey, you are a so-and-so company, come and have a look at the play that I'm doing at National Theatre. You may be interested in sponsoring it the next time, but for this time, I want you to come in. It's an investment that I'm making.
Okay.
But if for the very first time, I am even trying out this concept, the taxman is there taxing every potential future sponsor that I am inviting to watch my play, then it's not helping me. That's why our industry is not growing. And we have seen governments come up with policies that have ridden on the backs of creatives that have made lots of money for this economy. The year of return was 100% on our backs. If creatives have not, if creatives didn't put in the works that we did over the past years to be able to invest in equipment, to be able to invest in technology, to be able to invest in human resource, to bring ourselves to the level that saw all the big concerts that happened in Ghana, we would have heard bad news. We invest in our own technologies, unlike doctors who are trained partly by the state and other, professional institutions that benefit from state subsidized education. We don't. If I want to rig, I have to train somebody myself to rig, to be able to hang things over the ceiling, to be able to hang things over people's heads. And I have to get it right to be able to do this thing myself. If I'm not getting the support that I need as an industry to grow, I will just be doing mediocre events. And God forbid, if one day I am hanging a light and the light and the trash just falls on the crowd and we make the wrong headline news around the world when we are trying to promote a certain policy direction for our industry, be it a year of return, Black Star experience, or anything. 100% is the industry that is going to drive it. And so until such a time where we take it very, very seriously to invest and also position the taxation in such a way that it doesn't cripple, because as it is right now, 21% would definitely cripple you. How much I take it? We are not getting. When was the last time that you saw any international gig in Ghana? Nobody is coming to Ghana to bring any international artist to Ghana. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any economic sense, however you look at it. And if you put that 21% tax on top of it, then you want to go to jail. So we have to make sure that we are sitting down round the table like we are doing now, and we are saying, okay, we hear you, we see you, We want to work with you. We want you to grow. We want you to get to the point where when we are taxing you, it's not so difficult. The same way that an Indian or Chinese foreign company comes to Ghana and we say for the first 10 years, you have a tax-free holiday. We want to see you grow because you are employing Ghanaians. You are giving jobs to people. You are bringing income to the economy. So we want to see you grow. That is the same level of attention that we need to give to this industry, so that one day we can be having the Glastonbury. Glastonbury gets over 400 to 500,000 people in that valley for about a week. The amount of money that they spent, the last Eras tour by Katie, what's her name again? The total revenue that she accrued was $5.4 billion for a tour. And if we want our economy to get to that level where we can put such money into the kitty of the government, then the taxman has to see us as a potential and be able to grow with us, not take everything at the very first instant. Because once you do that, you just cripple me and I'll not be able to survive the next round of events.
Thank you, Kojo Poku. So you are saying one thing. You are not saying you are not going to pay taxes. You are asking for reduction of the rates or tax rebates and incentives. So that is all that they're asking for. This is Showbiz Roundtable, 7th edition, live on Joy 99.7 FM, on Joy Prime Television, and across our social media handles. Now, let's get to the contributors here, the audience. I saw a hand up early on. Okay. Robert Klah is also on Zoom waiting for us, but I saw, okay, Ninoy has the mic, and then Parrot Mouth early on. Okay, a lot of you. Okay, all right. Let's start with Dennis. Ninoy.
All right. I think I'll stay at the complimentary tickets for a while.
All right.
As an event organizer, I've been thinking about this complimentary tickets for a while. Because when I do a free event, when I do events and I open the gates, GRA does not come and tax me for the number of heads. That's 21%. But immediately I take gate fee, I get that GRA thing coming into the 21%. So I want to ask them, why? Because if it's free, it's free. I mean, if it's complimentary, that's also free. It goes into the free kitty and that free explanation. Yeah. And number two, probably to the head of IT, he mentioned that when he's going to attack you for personal income tax or business income tax, it comes with a certain figure. And he expects you to defend yourself with something. I just want to understand. Defend yourself with what? He said it when he was starting that we don't have the formal things to help us defend some of these things. So with what? Because he also said that, I mean, whatever he says is final. So where did he even get that data? And defend yourself with what? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. ZK?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to talk from the perspective of the new media. Okay. That's the vloggers, the bloggers and all. I would want to find out which type of tax do the bloggers, the vloggers, and the new media fall under. That's the first one. And the second one is I want to know what are the metrics for tax collection when it comes to vloggers, online content creators, and all. What are the particular metrics that you consider when you want to take tax from such people? And the last one will have to do with how does GRA keep track of incomes generated by online influencers? How do you keep track of all of that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ZK. Okay, Parrot Mount, then I take Cyril.
So,
okay.
I am asking on behalf of my friends, we the stand-up comedians. When we do events, we don't have house, we don't have cars. We don't even have where to sleep. So we just gather people like home service to do comedy, to make them laugh for just few hours. Then you come and stand at the gate like Jehovah's Witness, and you are taking tickets. For example, we did an event recently. After the event, the guy was not able to go home because he doesn't even have transport to go home. Because most people did not buy the ticket. But still, the two people that came, they say the guy have to pay GRA. And we are like, you are here. The event, how many people enter? I said those people that even entered, whether it is free, whether they're paid, we have to pay GRA. And the person was not able to go. We contributed transport for the person to go. So I want to know, is it possible that you people can give us money to do the event? I'm talking for comedians. Can you give us money to do the event so that when we get the money, they will give you back your money and pay you tax? So if it is possible like that, for I don't know about musicians, I don't know about bloggers, I don't know about other person. But we comedians, is it possible that you give us the money?
They are noting the question.
So you give us the money, then after the event, then we pay you back with tax.
Okay, I know you have a lot of questions there. I'll come back to you, but let's take a quick break. When we come back, we continue. All right, welcome back. This is Showbiz Roundtable, 7th edition. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Joy Prime and our social media handles. And we are talking taxation and the creative industry. So we're looking at how the taxes are computed and how they are impacting the creative industry. Already, we've had education on the types of taxes we have, and we've had some questions. Before we went for the break, we had questions from Ninoy, ZK, and Parrot Mouth. Let's start with Parrot Mouth. So he was concerned about the fact that sometimes you don't get many people in the auditorium for your events, yet you get our GRA friends coming in to take their taxes. Let me throw that question to Victor. So is there a number of people that one is supposed to have in an auditorium of an event before you go take your taxes? Do you have a cap?
Kwame, thank you very much. I appreciate your question, Parrot. But you see, the law is clear that even if you give a gift out to somebody, the fact that you are a taxable person or you are responsible or an agent for government in collecting the taxes, especially the VAT is not your tax. It is an appeal that you have made through you. You have become the agent of the Ghana Revenue Authority. That by virtue of the fact that a lot of followers are coming to you, add this margin to your cost price and collect for GRA. So if you should give out a ticket to somebody for free, the VAT element of it ought to be paid. You can give the ticket out as a complimentary, but the VAT element,
free.
Yes, it's for free. Like you have a shop. Is it there is no sale? No, you see, there is no sale, but the ticket, the value of the ticket, the number of people that are coming. You see, the number of people. You see, if you are dealing with you have registered, or we have registered you as an agent for collecting VAT for the Republic of Ghana, we are saying that even if you give the ticket free, the VAT element of it ought to be paid.
Victor, is that not unfair?
Okay, so
to the law itself.
You see, the law is clear. It says that barter, gift. You see, destroying it. Even if you have a building and you are destroying it, the VAT element of it ought to be paid. Because we have taken record of the items that you are dealing in. And we are saying that you are an agent for the Republic of Ghana. By virtue of the fact that you are providing a service, your profit, you don't pay tax on it if you should make a loss. Personal income tax. But here, VAT is consumption tax. So it is the consumer who is paying the tax, but you are helping us to collect the tax. And you are responsible for accounting for the tax. Your profit, you can decide to give out your profit and make a loss, but the VAT element you ought to collect for us.
I'll come to you, but so assuming I'm doing a free show.
Yes. You see, are you in the business of doing free show?
Marketing and promotion. I'm doing a free show. Let's say, so I'm hosting a show.
Yes.
It is for free. 100 people are coming. It's for charity. Are you coming to charge VAT on the tickets?
Okay. Commissioner General ought to keep records of persons who are into business. Do we have your data with us that you are in the business of promoting charity?
Maybe once in a while, social responsibility.
Yes, the social responsibility is for the business you are doing. But for the VAT element, the person consuming it, we are saying that the fact that you are a prominent person, people are following you, help us collect the VAT element.
Where
so
do I
if
get
it is
money
100
to pay for that tickets when I'm not taking any fee?
No, you see, if it is 100 Ghana cedis, okay, we are saying that by virtue of the fact that you have a lot of people following you, or you are a good person, collect VAT element of 21.5%, 15%, and N-Hill 6%, N-Hill
and then
2.5%.
91%.
We have come to, no. So let me say again that we have come to understand.
Yes.
With the coming into force of the new minister, he mentioned that we have a challenge with the VAT Act.
Okay.
And for that matter, there is the need for a redesign or recalibration of the VAT Act. Yes. They are working on it.
Good.
It will come very soon. It will come very soon, and everybody will be happy with the new
have
VAT.
us in mind.
Yes. So we will have you in mind if you are registered and you are in the database of the Commissioner General, and for that matter, you can make a voice, you can make a say into it. If you are in business, you have an obligation under the law to register with the Ghana Revenue Authority so that Commissioner General will know you. But you are in business, but you are not in our database. So the first point of call is that please come together as an industry association and register with the Ghana Revenue Authority. All that we need is your Ghana card. And also, we need your location. We need to know estimated turnover that you ought to make. Now, there is a modified taxation, which is coming very soon, or soon from September. The modified taxation seeks to let us know that if you are making a turnover of 20,000 up to 500,000, you pay 3% of it as tax of your turnover, and you are not expected to register for VAT.
Okay.
If your turnover is more than 200,000, then the law adjoins you to register for VAT per the current VAT Act.
Okay, but below that,
you don't register for VAT. Annual turnover. Annual to the whole year. Your show you do, your income that you make. If it is not up to 200,000 Ghana cedis, you don't register to pay VAT.
Okay.
But
that's coming.
Yes,
okay.
So it's coming. Now, there is the likelihood that they can even increase the turnover, the threshold up. So that below it, if you are making a show and your turnover for the whole year doesn't meet a certain threshold, then you don't register for VAT. If the VAT is the problem. But we felt that a lot of people are following you, and for that matter, you can help us mobilize revenue from the consumption.
This is like appealing to the emotions than being practical.
VAT is like a consumption. More people are consuming goods and services in the country. And for that matter, we are saying that if you consume a good or a service, the person providing the good or service and the turnover is more than 200,000, ought to add VAT element on it and collect on behalf of government and account for it. So you have become our agent, and now we hold you responsible. If you fail to do that, then you will pay the VAT.
Okay. Nana, okay, let's finish with the questions they ask.
Okay.
So that,
and then
so let's put ZK's question. ZK asked a question about bloggers. And yes, and then
new media.
How do you take their taxes? And how do you track their income?
You see, this is more of a digital content creation.
Yeah.
Okay, I will wish my senior colleague.
Okay, let's Isaac do that for us. Isaac.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So just like I said earlier, I would rather answer those two plus. I think Nino, your question. I said that if you have evidence, your evidence is superior to the GRA's way of assessing you. So it's your evidence, which is your inflow, your bank account, your expenditure, receipts. If that is there, that is superior. Most of the time, there's nothing. It is zero. In which case, my assessment of you is what will prevail. So as much as possible, get your record straight, and that will save you from the taxman. So that's what I said. Not that whatever I say is final. If you have records, your record is final. I believe that is clear. No record is where the dispute comes. But if you have records, you are fine. Okay. So back to how do we track? The same way we track all other income earners is the same thing that we use. Either by informants who will tell us, either by third party. We may go to your bank account if we have information that you are earning income.
Wow.
We will go straight to your bank account and observe how you are getting money into your bank account. If there is money coming there.
If I don't have a bank account.
If you don't have, there could be something else. You might have a friend who have your money. And if the information is that, oh, you earn income, but you don't have a bank account, but it is with somebody, a GRA can go to that somebody and collect. So we track across wherever we get information. That's how we track.
Zike is a blogger.
Yes.
Do you know how much he earns from his views and everything in a month? How would you know?
If he comes under my radar,
yes,
I would use all the assets under the state to find out where his income is certain. I can go. Come again.
When he has
whether he has registered or not,
you can find.
Once he becomes a blogger, he's come. Maybe his name is being mentioned. Of course, there's a unit in GRA who will become interested in him.
Have you tracked any of the bloggers already?
Of course, that's the work we do every day.
Have they paid?
Well, those who pay are paying. That's the work GRA does.
Paid?
Of course, they will pay. Once we are able to get
I don't want to ask if Zike has paid.
Please. There's confidentiality, which we don't disclose.
Ghana is part of the global forum. Where even if you have a offshore bank account, or some people outside are even paying you, we are in arrangement with them, and they are to provide information about all those who are receiving foreign remittances, or they have done some work and they are being paid. So when such information comes to us, we write to you, then tell you to come defend yourself, because we have information about you that you have earned XY amount of money in this account, and you have to come and defend yourself. We also have whistleblowers, informants. We pay them 10% for the information that they give to us.
Even tithes.
Yes, we pay them.
Chinese
we pay them. So if you are doing business,
at least they have money
and somebody knows about your record, the person is given the opportunity to share such information with the Ghana Revenue Authority. And we act based on information. So we say that in the best interest of God and country, if you are to provide provision of services, please register with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Disclose the income that you are earning. Pay a little as tax, personal income tax. Help GRA. Put a little margin on the ticket that you sell to people. That in the form of value added tax, consumption tax. Add a little margin to it as a price hack. Take your 100 Ghana cedis and give us the difference, the VAT aspect. The VAT is not your money, but we have appealed to you that add it and collect it for us. Senior, is it difficult?
It is very difficult.
Okay, so I understand our audience on Joy Prime have joined us now. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Joy Prime Television, and then we're also live on our social media handles. If you're watching and you want to comment or send a question, the WhatsApp number is 0551 575757 or 05511111 997. Okay. Nana Asase. Okay.
All right.
Can I ask?
No worry. Let's spin it from this way.
On the on a free show.
Complimentary.
No. Free. So if it's totally a free show, I haven't priced any of the tickets. I mean, I understand if I do a ticketed show
Yeah.
and I give complimentary, maybe it's 150, so the complimentary, the 15% on that. But if it's a show that I haven't even ticketed at all, how do I still pay?
No. I think it doesn't cover
for free shows.
It is the
It doesn't cover free shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the complement.
So we are talking about taxation in the creative economy. So most times we've heard a lot of issues regarding the taxes taken from our creatives, and so we want to understand how they operate. I mean, the GRA operates in our creative industry. Some or questions are being asked, answers are pouring in as well. Yes, Latif.
I think that when it comes to the role we should play in making sure maybe some of our laws are modified to be able to accommodate this conversation, the GRA should be so much interested in that. But it seems like
they are not.
Yes, it seems like, and I'll tell you why. It seems like they are like they always say, the creatives, you guys need to, it's beyond us. You guys need to
Lobby ahead.
Maybe it's beyond them.
No, but that, true, it's beyond them.
Yeah.
That is the conversation. Your job as GRA is not only that. Yes. Not only that.
No, he's telling you your job.
He's giving us a new job.
Wait, let me explain. Your job as GRA is to collect revenue that exists and then widen the tax net to get in more revenue.
Okay.
One of the roles you could widen the tax net is also to influence policy and let your superiors, like the minister responsible for finance, understand that, look, this economy can actually give us more money when we do A, B, C. Because see, taxation without support is just like asking a seedling to pay rent before bearing fruit. How would it survive? So the GRA itself must support us to pursue relevant stakeholders in trying to widen the tax net. They must also be interested in saying that, look, we need more money from the creative economy.
Yes.
It's giving people a lot of money.
Yes.
Hollywood is making so much money.
Yeah.
So let's sit down. Let's sit, creative, come. Let's sit with the stakeholders responsible to making sure we can modify these laws to accommodate some of the conversations we are talking about, so that we can expand the industry and make more money. Once more money comes in, GRA makes more money. We make more money. The target is 20 to 30 billion just for the creative industry.
Yeah.
But we are even not closer to 1 billion. So how do we tap it? It's not a conversation about just the creatives. It should be an interest GRA must at least hold on, take it serious, to pursue and bring the creatives together for us to achieve that. Because at the end of the day, you're also making money.
Isaac, have you ever gone into any meeting with your people where you advocated that they also came into our aid? Have you ever done that for us on our behalf?
Emma wants to take your
Putting Isaac on the spot. Of course, I can do that in my personal capacity.
Okay, you can.
Yes, I can.
You have
in my
done
personal
that
capacity,
yet?
I can do that. Yeah, but
not as a tax man.
Just like, just like if you've been employed as a cleaner, I don't think you can walk to your CEO's office and then give him a directive on accounting. If that is what you've been employed to do, you do what you are being paid for. You can provide suggestion to your CEO. If he sees your suggestion is good, it is an advice. But the one they pay you and they measure you, that is what you do.
Victor, in your capacity not as GRA employee, do you think some of the things we are saying hold water?
Yes, it holds water on condition that we come together as a team. Okay, as an industry player, and come with a voice.
All right. So, we're still live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime, and we're talking taxation in the creative industry. We have Robert Klah also on Zoom to join us now for a conversation. Early on, I posed a question to Victor, who is from the GRA. Yes, but it appears we're having a challenge. Let me go to Nana Sase. You wanted to ask a question early on. After that, I go to Robert.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gathering a few things. Right. If you've been employed as a cleaner,
Yes.
the detergent you're using is harmful, it's not getting the job done properly.
Yeah.
You can make a suggestion to your boss, but more importantly, you can educate your boss on what is happening because you are the man on the ground. GRA now becomes like a footballer who is on the pitch. Parliament becomes a coach. Your coach says, kick the ball this way, but you get on the pitch. Charlie, you check the way the grass is. If I kick the ball this way, I'll twist my ankle. We are still going to lose the game. So what do? I need to go back and give my coach an informed decision. But before then, I need to see the situation. So the law was made for man. Man was not made for the law. Do you get my point? And then it feels like we are being appealed to. When you appeal to me, I need to respond. No, so.
Yes.
Or once you appeal to me, my hands are tied. But in this case, you're making an appeal, but my hands are tied. Or is the GRA telling us they've been given a job and yet their hands are tied? All they have to do is yes or answer.
No.
Thank you.
No.
So it simply means that the GRA internally, as experts who control how taxation works, should be able to advocate on some of these issues or to advise, like Latif was saying, if we need to widen the tax net, X, Y, and Z is what we need to do. Quickly, please, does the GRA sponsor any event since they have tithe to give to whistleblowers? No. You don't? Do you do? You only pay tithe?
Oh, I think I've...
We provide social.
Yes, yeah, they do.
We do. So you sponsor? No, do you sponsor events? Would you sponsor?
That's the same as social, corporate social.
Social responsibility.
It's not.
Okay, fine.
No, like we asked about free. If we are doing CSR, look, it's opinion. Kwame, remember the question you asked? Do you sponsor events? Like the way GEPA would sponsor events?
Yes.
Like the way GMPC sponsors Black Stars, And
Oh, we do
corporate social. That's
it's a trade fair. We give. I mean, it's not the same.
It's an opinion,
GRA logo on.
No, logo. Let me finish this part. Quickly, please. Quickly. No, the way GEPA says, okay, the answer says you're having an event in support of Ghanaians culture and all of that, so XYZ amount to boost. Do you do that? Or GRA is not allowed to expend money?
Government
only
money,
tithe.
they have money.
The tithe. The 10% to whistleblowers. The tithe. What happens?
You see, the information that they are provided for us, we based on that information and collect the revenue. Out of that revenue, the interest associated of it, part of it is given out to the whistleblower or shared out to motivate him to go search more information for us.
All right, this is Showbiz Roundtable, and we're talking taxation and the economy. We have online Robert Klah. He's head of public events. Yes, and communications, Charterhouse. He's live on Zoom now. Rob.
Position is.
Good evening, Rob.
Hi, Kwame, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I'm sure you've been following the conversation.
Yes, I followed some portions of the conversation, and I think it's been interesting so far. I love the contributions, and I love the questions coming forth. I think I like the bold nature of the questions, because it's supposed to be a dialogue to address issues pertaining to the industry. So
exactly.
I'm happy with what is happening. Kudos to your team.
Okay, so let me start from you. You are also an event organizer. You are a creative entrepreneur. What challenges have you faced so far in organizing your events with regards to GRA? Hello, Rob? Robert Klah?
I think that with respect to my space, can you hear me? With respect to my space, quite a number of things come to the fore. And one of them is lack of knowledge about the tax system itself. You engage with a lot of creatives and they don't understand it. It seems a bit complex, and it's almost as if it wasn't woven for the creatives. So something exists and is slapped on for creatives to be able to work with, rather than trying to understand the operatives of the creatives so that this is couched to their benefits. Because remember, there is a goose, and that particular goose is supposed to lay eggs. So you need not to cripple the goose, because you need to encourage the goose to be able to lay the eggs for you to keep, getting that. It has to be in a sustainable way. So yes, that's one of the issues. And also there is this issue about not understanding why government is not active in putting in structures and yet expecting money from these same people. So people, for so long, for example, people are applying for venues at various places when it comes to different regions, so that they can have their tours, or they can have cinemas, avenues for showing movies, etc., etc. But sometimes you don't see these things happen. You don't see the support. You don't see the interest. Take the Gamro issue, for example, and how for a long time conversations have been held about this. Imagine if every royalty coming through had this element of tax in that particular space. If GRA changes their mindset about revenue collection only from the perspective of that which exists, but trying to understand how they can support, create revenue, and therefore being able to take their portion, I think will change the entire dynamic. So it's not going to be Gamro only fighting, but GRA, knowing very well that there's an opportunity in that particular space, would give them all the support required to be able to ensure that this particular platform is working. So that's the kind of thinking I'm talking about. Then there's also the issue about the 22% itself, because yeah, well, 21%, 21.9%. So that's like 22% in terms of what is put on a ticket. And elsewhere it's the story is different, you know. And so 22%, that's like what? It's too high, really. It's too high, and it's not even on your profits. This is on what you are getting from the from revenue in totality. So you know that is also one of the issues that usually comes up when we're having conversations about GRA. Then they also don't understand why. Well, the complementary issue, ticket issue, I think that one has been spoken to. So let me just leave that. But that's one of the key areas as well. And then there's also an issue of agency fee, and this is one big issue. I'm not too sure if the law has been designed to accommodate middlemen within the space. So, for example, you have an organization, let's say, so Charterhouse is organizing a program for Unilever, and Unilever, the money that Charterhouse is going to make, let's say, is 10% agency fee or 5% agency fee, and then when Charterhouse is going to be paid, then they have a withholding tax on the gross amount that is being given to Charterhouse instead of only the agency fee. Okay. You understand? So what it means is you end up having GRA eating into areas of their income that they are not supposed to be focused on, because at the end of the day, the money has been given, yes, let's say 100,000, but I'm supposed to use 100,000 to organize their events. So what is coming to me is the 10% of that 100,000 only. So if there is any withholding tax, then it has to be connected to just that particular component. Unfortunately, these are some of the issues that we are facing in that particular space. And then sometimes, so again, then you end up having double taxing because they've withheld a certain amount of money, which affects your figure. Yeah. You are now dealing with artists. You are also going to end up, withholding tax, and it keeps, the chain, the value delivery chain just goes on and on and on. So these are some of the issues within the space, and I think that it is necessary for us to be able to have some serious dialogue, or to be able to have the government respond or be responsive to our needs by empathizing with us, by first of all trying to understand so they can adjust the law, because again, the law is not, man is not made for the law is made for man. So obviously we have to make that which supports the system. Okay, Rob, please stay on and let me get Victor and Isaac to answer to the withholding taxes. He calls it double taxing.
Withholding tax is a compliance tool. If we are all giving monies to go and pay our taxes, we might not go to the GRA office to pay the tax. So withholding taxes comes in as a means of we GRA getting a portion of your corporate or personal income tax. If we give all the money to you, you not go to the GRA to pay the tax element of it. First, we are asking that you register and let us have record about you at the GRA. We don't know you. So when payments are being made to you, the law has been given that the person making the payment should withhold tax 10% of the gross amount and keep it in your name. When your ledger is with GRA, you are credited, and that forms part of the tax that you are supposed to pay as a personal income tax or as a corporate income tax. So it is a payment on account, and not like we are trying to reduce your money. It is your contribution towards the development of the state.
Okay.
That is the withholding tax. And that one, everyone here must be able to accept that principle. Even if it's a commission agent, the services that you provide, withholding tax 10%. If your endorsement of a product comes and you endorse it, that farm milk is nice, this is nice, you pay 10% endorsement fee. Yes, endorsement fee.
So if, let's say, Francis Doku endorses a brand that I have, and I pay him,
you withhold 10%.
10% of it.
Because if he give you all the money, you will come to GRA.
He won't come and pay.
He may. He
may or may not.
But will you go and pay?
Oh, but I think the point Robert was making. I think it needs to be explained a bit, so Mr. Akogo understands it better and explain. So I'm agency. I've done a job for Unilever. The value of the job is 100,000. I've came to buy media at Joy FM. And I have to pay that amount. They pay through me, I pay to Joy. My percentage or my revenue or my income on that is just 15% as an agency. So they will pay the 100 plus the 15. But when they're paying, the withholding tax is deducted on the entire amount. So the point Robert is making is that why not only the 15%, which is mine, which is my income, which is what you have to withhold. But as it is now, they would withhold on the 115 totally, and not on the 15. That's what he's saying. That is perhaps is double taxation.
All right.
But the law is said that on gross amount. Is it on gross amount? So the total amount.
So which means that what I'm going to pay here will be short.
Yes, we don't know the agency, but we know the payment that has come out from Unilever. So the gross amount, that is what we are saying, that pay 10% of it as a withholding tax. Then that one, you file a return at the end of the year. You make a declaration that this is the only income I earn for the whole year. So we look at it and say, what are some of the expenses that you incurred? We take out the expenses from that income. If there is a refund that you have to make to you, we make the refund to you.
You give credit.
Do you give the refund? We give refund to the extent that we even give incentive.
No.
Oh, you do?
No.
Yes.
How often do you
when you are a young entrepreneur. Please, let's this aspect is also very interesting.
All right.
Young
we are interested in this one.
If you are a young entrepreneur and you are into the creative industry, and your age, respectfully, is not above 35 years, you are exempted from paying tax for the 5 years. And after that exemption 5 years, you are also given a reduced rate of 50% to pay as your corporate tax or personal income tax. Even if we are located at a rural area or elsewhere or not in a district capital, you are asked to pay 12.5% as tax. So you pay a reduced tax rate as a young entrepreneur.
For the younger people.
For the younger people.
Additional to that,
regardless of whether you are creative or any business.
No, creative, tourism, horticulture, plant medicine. These manufacturing. So these industries have been specifically mentioned that these are the people who enjoy this incentive as a young entrepreneur, to encourage them to be in business. 5 years, you are exempted from paying tax. You can ask for an extension of that. That one too is there. You see, the law, you can say that you should make it 10 years, or you can say that one, it is the team recommendation to government. Now that we are making the new VAT Act, you can go and make a suggestion to government that please, for the creative industry, VAT, even the VAT crowd, respectfully, is the consumer of the ticket who is paying the additional, VAT or the VAT on the ticket, the face value of the item. So please, with your followers following you, when you speak to them, they will appreciate to pay the VAT.
Okay, you have a question?
Okay, quick one. I mean, just beyond this day, I feel we're getting information, but sometimes it comes up in bits and pieces.
Okay.
These bits of taxation I've never heard about. I'm sure a lot of people have not heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we have a day where we have an event, a free event?
Okay, free event.
Okay. GRA will pay the taxes. Where we learn, about these things, because more importantly, we need to go out and educate other people, so that the understanding, now comes into play. I think beyond this platform. So this has been very healthy. We're getting information, but in bits and pieces. But again, on this agency thing that we're talking about, it cripples agency. Yeah. Because you've given me money to hold an event for GRA.
Yeah.
Now you're not withholding what my income is. You're not withholding on what my income is. You're just withholding on the money that's been given to me.
Yes.
Which will reduce what I'm able to actually achieve for clients, which means I might even fall short of what clients expect of me.
You might.
You will. Right from source, you cannot crash it. So please, I don't know how GRA as a body, maybe upon further deliberations and engagements.
We will go have a discussion.
Victor, I think what I can add to that is that there is a way you can apply for exemption from withholding taxes. And we would audit and find out whether you are a taxpayer in good standing. Yes. We give you that exemption. So in that case, some of your deductions will not suffer withholding taxes. So that's one way to reduce your tax burden. If you prove to us that you are a compliant taxpayer, that relief is also for you.
For how long would you be exempted?
It normally it's a yearly. You apply every year.
It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle.
It's a yearly. If we give it to you this year, next year, so you keep applying every year. Okay. Once you are a good standard.
For how long?
1 year.
It's
every year. Then you renew.
Every year you
renew. For 10 years or 20 years.
It's just an annual thing.
So you have the right. I know, for instance, that some of the stations within multimedia have exempted.
Okay.
So GRA is not
additional to that. We also have
because I do business with that.
We also have tax relief for individuals.
Yes.
Which can also reduce their tax burden when they file their tax returns.
Okay, so we're having some education here, and I think it's very, very important.
But more importantly, we are not in quotes at conflict with GRA
at all.
We are not demonizing GRA.
We're not fighting them.
We're not saying we won't pay tax. Or we are not saying we won't pay tax.
No, we are not saying that the consumers who are following you, the consumers, you are not going to charge the VAT.
Yeah, no, that's not what. So this is the point. What we are trying to say is that you need to work with us as partners.
Yes.
Because we are still in the nurturing stage.
Yes.
So you need to work with us as partners to even understand that at this stage of my creative business, if I don't give out complimentary tickets for people to come and witness my talent, how would I be able to even make money the next day?
It won't work.
That's what I'm saying. Work with us.
Okay.
So that when you understand the nature of the business, and the nuance, you would help us to be able to couch certain messages that we could persuade the relevant stakeholders with. That's basically what I'm saying.
Well noted.
Okay, so we are having some great education here on taxation from the Ghana Revenue Authority, and creatives are gathered here. We have the audience contributors who are also ready to ask more questions. So let me get to them. Early on, I saw Cyril's hand up, and then Abina Ruthie as well. Let me go to them and take their questions, and then Queen Darling. Let me start with Abina Ruthie, then I go to Cyril, then I come to Queen Darling.
Right, Kwame. So thank you. Coming into this meeting, I had just one plea to let the distinguished men from GRA know that their ticket taxing thing is not attractive to the creatives. So they should find a way of doing it so that we won't be deterred from paying taxes. Now, the complimentary thing you're talking about, I go to print the tickets. If that printer is well captured, I pay the tax there. So if I bring it and you're asking that because I have given it out, I should pay the VAT, component of that ticket, how do I get the money to pay it when that person I've given it to is not paying anything to me? So I think that zero tax on tickets for creatives is something that you should look at, and then channel the source of taxes through other things. If I'm paying for, trusses, things that I'll use for my production, I will pay tax on all those things. Even the fuel that I put in my car to come to the venue, I pay tax on it. So please, it is not, attractive for us if you come to the gates and do all those skirmishes. Please, take it to your table. I think this lies in the remit of GRA. This doesn't have to go beyond too much, I think. So please take it to your drawing board and let them know that taxing us at the gate is not something that is attractive to us. If you want more people to, pay tax, you should use ways and means that will let the people be attracted to doing that. And again, I think we have stressed this point, the fact that you should widen the tax net because the few in it are burdened. It cuts across. It's not just limited to us creatives. I've been in the corporate world before. There are very few in it are burdened. Somebody in some corner there doing a lot of business will enjoy his or her money free, and then I who come to register with you, I will be, pounced on every now and then. Yeah. It's I think my point is well.
Good point.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Abina Ruthie, second vice president, Musica. Let's hear from Cyril, Alex.
Yeah, hi. So I've just been soaking in a lot, and what comes clearly to me is we are constantly compelled to learn about tax, learn about the GRA, learn about the policies, learn the math, learn the percentages. We. One question, my first question is there any conscious effort within the GRA to learn about the creative industry, to understand that the egg that we are trying to fry today because of tax is supposed to hatch and produce more for this tax net that we want to capture? Because it sounds like we are killing the thing on arrival, and the loopholes that everybody is expressing here simply speaks to the fact that a general rule of thumb is being applied across the creative industry, even though it is a horrible fit. I don't know if you remember last year, certain companies it was proposed to be given about $335 million worth of tax waivers. Steel companies, plastic manufacturers, those were simple. Plastic manufacturer, raw material, produce, sell. It's simple to understand. Ours is so nuanced that we creatives are ideas people. All we have in this room is idea to put on a stage play. You are not the technical producer. You don't know anything about trusses. You don't know about light, about sound, about advertising, about billboard. You are a playwright. What's your play? You have to collaborate with hundreds of people for that ticket to sell. So for the GRA to come at the last minute of ticket selling for an arm and a leg pound of flesh, when all I had was an idea, it is so much like punishment. So you need to understand, and this is my challenge to the GRA. Okay. We are open for taxation. We understand the potential, the billions of dollars that run through the creative space. But if you don't understand us, anything you do to us will be punitive. And we have all faced it here in one regard or the other. So my question again is, has the GRA taken any conscious effort to learn exactly what the creative industry is and how it operates? Thank you.
Thank you, Cyril. And he is a brand and marketing professional. Thank you so much. Also a broadcaster. Queen Darlene is a musician. Let's hear you.
Okay, so I have two things to talk about. The first thing is what I can see or gather here today is when it comes to GRA and the creatives, we're lacking trust from your end to us. Because I don't think other sectors of business, we have GRA officials standing right there while they transact their business. So there must be a reason why the creatives are not trusted, while you have to be right there when we're selling tickets to take your money there. So my question is there a way that we can have stakeholders on this part of, this in this economy, sit with stakeholders on your side as well and see how well you can tell us how, we need to know what your insecurities are, how well we can work with you without having to have you breathe over us like we have offended you in any way. Okay, that's the first one. And then the second one is, whilst Mr. Isaac was speaking, he said something about you pay taxes on your profit. Now, my question is, when it comes to the creatives, why are we not having the same treatment? Why are we taxed when it isn't the profit? We haven't even broken even, but we are being taxed. On other segments, on other industries, you tax them on the profit. So when it comes to us, why is it the revenue that is being taxed? We haven't even taken out our expenditures, our purchasing and everything else. Why are you taxing us on the exact revenue? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
My question wasn't answered.
Oh, your earlier question?
Yes.
The YouTubers thing?
Yes, so I asked that.
Yes.
Which category of taxation does the vloggers, the online influencers fall
under?
I want to know
the category of taxation.
Yes. And the other one too has to do with the metrics for picking taxations. Because when you are on Facebook or when on YouTube and you are applying for monetization, there's a tax form that is often given to you.
Yeah.
So what percentage does GRA have in it? So I think all those metrics, we need to know all of that.
They should break it down
further. So that we know exactly the percentage GRA has in it, the percentage YouTube has in it. We need to know all of that. And the other question I want to ask is, some people are often troubled by the fact that GRA can go to the bank and go ask of information. I'm asking, is it not a breach of banking confidentiality for you to just go to bank and ask of someone's account information and all of that? Is it not a breach of banking codes and financial confidentiality? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so thank you, Cyril. Thank you, ZK, Queen Darling, and Abina Ruthie. We need to take the questions one after the other. You have a question, Latif?
Answer a question for the GRA.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, for that.
That's all for us.
Okay. Latif, please bring in your submission.
Okay.
Now. Okay. So,
No, she mentioned. Sorry, I don't remember the name.
Abina Ruthie, right? Queen Darling. Okay.
Yeah.
Queen Darling.
Why taxes are not paid on profit, but rather on revenue.
On revenue, when it comes to the tickets, to creatives. So the point is that it's maybe lack of information. That's bottom line. Because what the GRA expects us to do is that if we are doing our ticket pricing, the tickets cost 150. That's the pricing. If that is what you think the ticket costs, after that, you add the GRA component on it.
The 22%.
The 22%.
You see,
letting us think simple terms.
So let me. So I'm saying I want to charge. Okay, we are supposed to charge 100 cedis.
Yeah.
GRA expects that.
Yes.
They expect that the 100 cedis must include their component.
Yes.
Or if your real cost is supposed to be 100, then you must add up that of GRA.
Yes.
Because when GRA comes, whatever amount you have charged per the ticket is assumed automatically that their component is part.
It's inside. Okay.
So all they are doing is that, okay, you've added my component already, and the person who is buying the ticket has paid for. So let me come for my component. I won't touch your money.
No, you see, the question is that the question, yes.
So why are you not making it?
Okay, so the question is out before we take.
No, so I'm saying that. All right. Okay, so wait, it will help us understand. 1 minute. It will help us understand.
Yeah.
So she is saying that is the revenue, and I'm saying that we agree. Is the revenue that the total revenue you have received based on the ticket sales, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that total revenue you are talking about, GRA is assuming or has assumed already that in that revenue, their money is part.
No, in that revenue, you've made your profit. The tax is supposed to be on the profit, not the revenue.
I said earlier that
We don't tax.
The VAT is taken from the profits made.
Come again. No, income tax. Income tax.
That was income. Then she was mistaking that.
Yeah, she's combining both. So we have explained to you that taxes are in two categories. We have direct, we have indirect. The direct is you. Now that comprises your expenses. And that one, you normally do it at the end of the year. Because the year hasn't ended. You wouldn't know whether you made profit or you made loss. So for everybody, including creatives, non-creative, the computation is the same. If you make a loss, you don't pay. If you break even, you don't pay. The portion which you are disputing is an event you are doing. You are not done yet. So in a month, maybe you are doing 30 events every day. Let's say you are doing events every day. For a single event, when you sell tickets, ticket is an indirect tax. It is not targeted at you. It's targeted at your final consumer. But one of the problems you are having is that the rate is too high.
Yes.
Which is 22 for the sake of argument. 21 point something, but 22. That's our recommendation is that let's all talk to the policymaker, the government, and the VAT reforms might even bring the rate down. So that might address the rate portion. The second problem you've raised here is complimentary tickets. That why are we taxing complimentary ticket when you gave it out for free? And that is a taxation principle. It doesn't only apply to creatives. It applies to the non-creative as well. We have what we call a gifters. I receive a gift. I didn't receive the money. Somebody dashed me a phone. It's 1,000 Ghana. The law in Ghana says that because the phone costs more than 1,000 Ghana, the taxable amount you have to pay to government for receiving the phone, there's a gift tax. 15%.
So
meanwhile, you did not receive money, you received a phone.
So of the phone should pay the tax.
Yes, that's the law of the Ghana. So if
it's not the recipient.
It's the recipient.
That's what I'm saying.
For gifters, is the recipient. So no, I'm trying to give another type that looks like what you are complaining about. That for people who receive gifts, which value is more than, is it 100 Ghana per annum?
No, 50 Ghana.
50 Ghana per annum for the year. Once the value is more than 50 Ghana, you're expected to pay 15% of it. Yes.
So it's confusing.
And I give you 50,000 to do surgery, so will you pay tax?
There are some exemptions to it. So we'll go through the nuances. If you are giving maybe to your wife, you are giving chop money, you are giving to your children, there are some exemptions. Family, it doesn't come. But for a stranger to come and dash you something, you are required to pay a gift tax, even though you didn't receive money.
So that's another question. So Cyril is asking that, are you ready to learn about the creative industry to understand it some more?
Perfect. That is even the more reason why we are here.
but this time is too short to do that. Maybe an external.
No, not yet.
Okay. Then Abner Ruthie said that you need to widen the tax net to cover other people in the creative economy or even other workers, if you like. Are you doing that? For example, in the creative industry, do you tax fashion designers, painters, sculptors? Do you tax all these people in the creative economy? Everybody is taxed.
Everyone is taxed. But before I go there, she asked a question about trust. And she thought their industry is the only one where we go to the gate. I remember that if you were telling, or it was Francis you, that he should go to the warehouse and go and see our officers seated there. So it's not only you. We have officers seated at the warehouses. We also do what we call invigilation, where we can go to any taxpayer of our choice. When we believe that there is some information to that, we put what we call an invigilator. Go and sit at the shop and invigilate.
Okay.
There are different nuances. The tax is limited,
There is another question. I think you missed that. According to ZK, you did not explain that well for us. The YouTubers, the vloggers, how are you able to know their revenue? Because unless you go to the back end, and they are giving tax receipts and all that as well, in their back end, how are you able to know that?
So once a taxpayer becomes of an interest, an object of interest, we go at length to look for information wherever we find. So if that YouTuber is of interest, we will get information wherever it resides.
Okay. All right. Still right here.
And I think you're also
99.7 FM. This is Showbiz Roundtable 7 The Dishing. We're live here also on Joy Prime and on our social media handles. Talking about YouTubers, we have the headless YouTuber, Oja, Uja. But let's take Kojo Poku, who is on Zoom now. And then when we come back, we have more questions for the panel here. Kojo, if you can hear me, I hear you have some concerns to raise.
I do have some concerns to raise, and I put them across. I've been listening to the conversation, and it seems as if this roundtable is lacking one key person, which would have been a government policy maker in our midst to come and explain to us and try and understand our point of view and where we are coming from. Because I see the GRA as an institution, just doing their job, and they are not willing to understand. They are not opening themselves up to really understand the nuances of our industry and how we even arrive at ticketing to be able to even make any inroads. So it would have been great to have a policymaker, in our midst, to also be able to take some notes from this discussion to be able to present it somewhere. But I know they are listening, and I know they listen to Joy FM and this show in particular, and so it will go far. But I just want to make the point that what we are asking for is not necessarily that we don't want to pay. What we are asking for is that the policymaker has made the policy. I do not believe that VAT on tickets is the right thing to do for our industry. I do not believe that VAT for ticket sales, for such an orphan infant industry like the creative industry is the right way to go. I think that we should look at maybe an entertainment tax or a cultural tax or some tax which is a flat rate, kind of tax that should be added to tickets for government. Because if you look at the general scope of things and the generality of the conversation that we've had today, everyone is willing to pay. But all that we are saying is that you cannot apply what happens when you go shopping at ShopRite or anywhere to a ticket sale. In as much as it's the consumers that make that payment. Ticket sales are usually rounded up, and ticket sales form a huge part of the revenue of the people who put these things together. Okay. And when we say we are charging, let's say, 1,000 cedis for a Rapaholic concert, the understanding is that we don't have any sponsor from anywhere, and we are not going to say 1,250 where we are supposed to take the 250 or so for the taxman. The assumption is that revenue that we have received is where we will look into to pay for all our expenses. So if at the end of the day, we have to pay the taxman out of it, even though it's the consumer that paid it. The consumer paying that money is not thinking that they are paying the GRA. All the consumer wants is to go and watch an Uncle Ebo play or a Latif play or a George Quay play. That's all that they want to do. They are not thinking of paying that play for that play and then also paying the GRA. At that point when they are making that purchase, they are thinking of watching the play and helping that industry grow. If the taxman money is in there, all well and good, but the rate is what we have to carefully look at, and maybe take out the VAT completely and say, okay, you know what, no VAT, but then there's an entertainment tax, there's a cultural tax, or some kind of tax that is instituted purposely for growing the industry, and where we get part of it. Because if you look at NHI is a tax purposely to help a certain industry. Mm-hmm. We pay this money. I don't know any event company, I stand corrected, that is benefiting from paying enough taxes to government for event, and so getting part of that tax to help that company grow in terms of capacity building, in terms of retooling. We hear about retooling all the time. We hear about capacity building all the time. I don't remember any form of retooling or any capital investment in terms of building the capacity of the people in this industry.
Okay.
But however, we are the ones who are supposed to come up with concepts, come up with everything, and now even take the money on behalf of the GRA. And when they are paying, when they are coming for that money that we have collected for them, they come with a very, very, stringent, a very, very stringent attitude.
They don't pay agency fee. All right, thank you, Kojo Poku. Now, let's go to Noella Karinyali for some of your comments. Those watching and listening, you've sent in some comments. Let's go to Noella now and take these comments. Noella.
Really insightful conversations. Personally, I think I'm going to explore a career in being an informant for the GRA. Since I know that we're going to be earning 10%.
10%.
But yeah, we've got loads of messages trickling in. My first is going to be from Kwesi, who says, brilliant discussion and big ups to Joy FM for this thoughtful one. But my question is, can the GRA folks try and design policies with the peculiarities of the creative industry in mind, or are creatives just being lumped into the general business category? And that's from Eunice, actually, not Kwesi. Great dialogue, and thumbs up to the team for coming up with such dialogue. My question is simple. What about the GRA focusing on taxing the few successful big names and helping every upcoming creative build a system where taxation becomes easier and fairer when the upcoming ones also become big? And that is from Kwesi. Kudos to Joy FM and Showbiz Roundtable team. This discussion is exactly what our creative industry needs. Bringing GRA and creatives together is such a brilliant move. Respect to the organizers for tackling the real issues. That's from Joseph. Great conversations, and thank you to the team for this insightful and long overdue topic. I'm curious, how other African countries tax your creative industries? Can Ghana learn from Nigeria, South Africa, or Kenya to develop a creative-friendly tax system? Ike is asking that question. Charles Kofi Joe on Facebook also says, respectfully, it looks like all the speakers are saying the same thing. The first creative speaker said, Mr. Host, my question is, how did the trade union manage to dialogue with the policymakers to come up with a specific rate of tax for them? The industry needs to grow. Put your thoughts together and intentionally engage policymakers. People in the creative industry are the same as people working in other industries. Speak up for yourself. I'm going to read more messages. This one says, congratulations to the Showbiz Roundtable team. This is nation building through dialogue, and I am proud to be listening in. Let's keep up with this initiative. Nat there, bigging us up. Thank you so much, Nat. Congratulations again to the Showbiz Roundtable team. I salute the vision behind this event. Conversations like these are what will push Ghana's creative economy forward. The GRA folks must do something about the tax on complementary. It isn't right at all. Big ups to you all for this initiative. Ablode on Facebook says, please, the under 35 years tax exemption is not easy, as he said it is. I want the GRA office to request this. The personnel I went to the GRA office to request this. The personnel told me it's not true. It took another colleague to tell me I'll need an approval from my sector ministry. This one also says arms of government are 3, and now the executive controls all 3. I don't know the context of this, but okay. Good evening, boss. Please inform the GRA that as they are educating us on the taxes, they should also make good use of the money. We need to develop the nation.
That was going to come anyway.
Also, this one says, I must applaud the Showbiz Roundtable team for always being ahead of the curve. Today's discussion on taxation is groundbreaking and so timely. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate. Tax is law, and it takes time to understand the law. I believe with much education that creators will get it right. The levies add up to the 22%, so the sector minister
can be spoken to for the levies, I beg your pardon, to be taken off, and that's from Ofori Ado. So I'm going to wrap up the messages here for now. Obviously, we're going to be monitoring, and if we get more, I'd share that with the rest of the team.
Thank you very much, Noella Karingiali. And Showbiz Roundtable is brought to you by Superstar Multi-Food Drink and MTN. And MTN says they have exciting news for all of you looking to join the family or grab an extra MTN SIM card. And all these cards are available for the incredible price of 10 Ghana cedis, just 10 Ghana cedis without VAT. Sorry. So head down to any MTN service center, Connect store, or your nearest authorized community shop. Take advantage of this fantastic offer. Remember to purchase your new SIM card and get connected. All you need to do is to come along with your valid Ghana card. And so this is very simple. Make sure that you don't get your card anywhere for more than 10 Ghana cedis. Experience the most amazing network when you join the Yellow family today. And Uncle Lebo White is celebrating 17 years anniversary of staging plays. And so the Rovermans Productions, in partnership with the National Theatre and Joy FM, brings you the exciting and thrilling Uncle Lebo White's masterpiece, Voices in My Head. And this is staging from 5th, 6th, 7th, 12th, 13th, 14th September 2025. And the show times are Fridays at 7 p.m., one show only. Saturdays, 4 p.m. at 8 p.m. And then Sundays, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and then 8 p.m. You can get your tickets at short code *365*535# at 300 Ghana cedis. And then you get to be part of this experience. And then join us for the 4th Made in Ghana Bazaar by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with its stakeholders at the Accra International Conference Center from 5th to 7th September. Started yesterday, ending tomorrow. And so please be there tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. And this year's event is themed Championing Economic Diplomacy, Connecting Producers, Markets, and Opportunities. And so you need to make your way there and share in that experience as well. Still right here on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime Television. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and we are bringing to you the 7th edition of Showbiz Roundtable. Now, let's get to Robert Klah, who is still on Zoom with us, and then talk to him. Leslie the Comic has also joined us. Leslie the Comic is also a creative entrepreneur. He's a comedian. He's a humor therapist. And he makes business through making people laugh and emceeing events. He's here as well with us. Leslie, how are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
You are a funny boy, innit?
Yeah.
And he's coming up with an event on 27th. Yes, at the UPSA Auditorium. It's called Funny Ish. The people are here. The tax people are here. I'm saying this. Do you know about this already?
I don't know.
Isaac,
opportunity to get out there.
Isaac, you saw him out.
Informant.
Isaac, did you know about this already?
No. 10%.
Okay, so Lexi is here, but let me finish with Robert and then come to Lexi. Rob. Hello, Rob. Okay, it appears we are getting difficulty in connecting with him. Robert.
Yes, Kwame, I'm here.
Okay, so is there anything you want to add to the conversation so far?
Yeah, for me, it's I think everything is spot on. I like the fact that questions are coming through, clarity is being established, because a lot of ignorance exists within the space. Almost immediately, I'm wondering, we always say that every creative is a business on their own.
Yeah.
So then, with the absence of business for creatives, then what does it mean? It means that we have a lot of deficits when it comes to the knowledge with respect to how creatives need to run their businesses. And if that is the case, then you'd realize that the 10% for the whistleblowers, maybe it needs to start channeling that into some education and some form of structural growth and development to be able to support the people, within the space. It is very necessary. And I just want to reiterate the fact that it is not about we not wanting to pay taxes, but it is about we having a clear interest in them trying to understand what we do, how we do it, and being there so that at the end of the day, we who are supposed to lay the eggs for them will keep laying those particular eggs. And that's the reason why we are asking for this. It shouldn't feel like the relationship is taskmaster, or let me say slave, like slavery, and they are slaves and do this and that's it. You have no say. I think that we should get to that point where we are having a conversation, trying to understand exactly, what can be taxed, so that we willingly do so, and then we can contribute and contribute. It is important. Okay. At this point, I'm almost trying. Somebody mentioned the need for a policymaker, and I'm thinking maybe beyond the creative arts, tourism, and culture, we probably even need the Ministry of Trade, because this is about trade.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have conversation that makes it feel like creatives are just creatives. No, there is a business undertone in this particular conversation. So if we need to have a Ministry of Trade take interest in this, then we have to do that, just so that they see things from the global perspective of the value of a creative, which is not just limited to the fact that we are creating new things or we are within a space that is intangible. No, we are able to translate whatever we are doing into business, and we need to let that understanding run through so that they capture these elements. So back to some of the points, I think that they need to adjust some of the figures. In the housing sector, for example, like here, if you buy a house, it's like 5% that you're supposed to pay on. For the middleman, I'm not too sure what that is, but they can confirm that. And it was designed for them. I think that there were agitations made, they had some dialogues, and then that was designed for them. Maybe we should get to that point, just like we're having this particular conversation. We need to get to that point where if somebody is making a purchase in terms of tickets, they need to understand the element that goes into it. Plus, every event organizer within the space is a massive employer. One person decided to organize events is literally engaging a lot of folks within the value chain.
Sure.
And so that should be able to count for something. That should be able to count for some tax holidays. That should be able to count for some incentives, to a certain extent. Because if the person didn't have the idea, they didn't move for that particular project to happen. From the taxi drivers to venue payments to logistics, rentals to everything within the value chain, security men, name it.
Okay.
Every event organized is a massive house for employment or giving jobs to people, and we need to be able to factor all of these things in to encourage them. If we have more people organizing events, you can imagine how much money will be circulated within the space for the creators. So I'm just saying that should get back into the space, take into consideration the middleman is not being factored in properly, so that we are not paying money on revenue that is given to us for execution of a particular project, but the agency fee and all the other areas of interest that we are talking about. It's very, very necessary. You need to understand that it's about partnership. That's it, really.
All right. Thank you, Robert Klah. And let me come to Leslie the comic. So over the years, we've talked about this so many times. Yeah. And some people are even tired.
Yeah.
Are you tired?
Today, I was even fighting with my my PA that I don't see why I should come for this meeting or have a conversation, because I think we've had this conversation so many times, and it's like the position of GRA would never change. You see, the industry, as the entertainment industry, has its own challenge, but stand-up comedy as a branch of the industry has a bigger challenge. It took us a lot. Now I'll be speaking as a stand-up comedian. I don't know about other challenges with the rest of the industry, but we have a lot that we fought to get to the point we are now. Even to get corporate bodies to support our industry is a big challenge, because we have to convince Ghanaians that we are funny. Now, to even convince them to buy tickets to come and watch you is another ball game altogether. Now, you run a show. How many events? Once I was speaking to one event organizer in Ghana that, why are you not doing the comedy shows again? He was like, I'm practically working for the government, because when I finish the show, I pump back the money to government and I don't realize any profit. So he has left the industry. So now we, the creatives, that's the stand-up comedian. I'm not supposed to even organize my own show, but now I have to take it upon myself. If I don't do it, if Charterhouse doesn't organize one in December, meaning I'll be rendered useless doing anything. Now I go back into my pocket, squeeze something to do an event. Like last year, something happened to me. I had booked a venue in Ghana, in Accra. And I had announced that, these are the rates for my event. So the venue would have been, I was planning to announce the venue as, that was part of my rollout plan. Only for me to go to the venue, like, we can't give the venue to you again because government needs the venue. Now quickly, I had to change and go look for another venue. Now the venue cost 3 times the amount of venue. But I had already announced the rate of the show. So now I have tripled my cost. Yeah. Now I do this event and I've run into a huge loss. I run to GRA. I show you the document to tell you that these and these are the factors that contributed to me not paying my. They said no, because it is value added tax. And later when I was talking to, and I have a few friends who have left to this country because of this kind of frustration. They don't want to be part of it. And when I told the lady that with these challenges, am I leave? She said, if you have your visa, leave. Because if I get visa, and this is coming from a VAT, a GRA personnel telling me that I contribute to the economy. He's telling me to leave this country and go and explore other jurisdictions. So if all these things, factors, we don't look into it, it's a big challenge. You see, our industry is different. When you say this, when you go and buy bottle water cannot be compared to event. Event is like gambling. You pump in money and hope that whatever money I'm pumping, if people show up at the gate, that is when I'll make my money back. So if people don't come, so if I am expecting 1,000 people and 200 people show up, I've still not made the money I'm supposed to make. Now, but I still need to pay the guy who gave me logistics. I need to. Exactly. If I pay everything, I still have more money to pay. And GRA is saying I still pay us. Basically, I worked only to go and pay GRA. I, the initiator of the idea, didn't get anything. But I want GRA to look at it from the perspective of no, our industry is quite different from the rest of the industries, the bottled water. Exactly.
Victor, excellent. So in this situation, when you get such complaints in your office, how do you deal with it?
Yes, excellent. He has spoken very well. You see, when it comes to taxation, it's basically like my brother said, that we have categorized it into 2 categories. We have the personal income tax. Okay, personal income tax. Okay, so if it's direct tax and the indirect tax, if he's registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority, we expect at the end of the year, especially 31st April or 30th April, he files a return to show us the income that he has earned, less the expenses that he incurred, so that we will establish, or it will be established whether he made a profit or not. If he doesn't make a profit, he doesn't pay tax. If he makes a loss, he doesn't pay tax. If he has paid a withholding tax in advance, that aspect or income that he has paid in a tax, in the form of tax, will be refunded to him or will be credited to him against the subsequent year. Now, the argument from the conversation is that the VAT element is where the challenge is. You want 1,000 people to come to your show. You printed ticket, 1,000 people. You, in your mind, said you're going to charge the ticket 100. But GRA is saying that add 15% or add 21% to it. Now you've charged 121 Ghana cedis. Now people that came, take your 100 and give the 21 to the GRA. That is all that the GRA is saying.
No, so he gave a very typical.
So you're not getting.
Okay, continue. Yeah.
So I am saying that yes, I want to pay that tax.
Yes,
the value added tax.
Very good.
Yeah? But it's after I'm done with the show.
Yes,
I can comfortably take that GRA tax without feeling it. But when I do the show, and probably I was expecting 100,000 at the end of the day, and I make 10,000 Ghana cedis from tickets, but I still not pay for logistics. I'm not paying. How do I even pay your 22% when even I don't even have the money to show. You don't get what I'm saying?
No. See, respectfully, all that we are trying to say is that you see, we are looking at the total ticket sold.
Oh, Victor, you're not getting us. So
can I come in?
In the
Can I
situation
intervene?
that he cited,
Please, can I intervene?
in that situation?
Victor, let me intervene. Please, let's not box so many things, right? If you are doing an event and you have to pay an event venue, you have to pay so many other people in the chain, that is not the end of the story. That is for your event. Now, the bone of contention here is about the ticketing price, right? Because before you even did your event, you knew the venue. It might either, as you said, in the course of the year, it's not every time that you encounter that unfortunate incident where your venue have to change, for which reason your expectation was not met. So we will say that that's a bad event probably that happened. That should not be the norm. If you have that special event where things didn't go as expected, there are ways of going around it. Yes. That's maybe in the course of a month. I don't think that will happen.
What are the ways to go about it?
Exactly. I actually went to them. And I was telling them, who do I talk to? They will refer you to this. They give you the same story. And I said, they said, now I have to go and see the commissioner, right? And I said, okay, let me see the commissioner. They said, we want to advise you.
It's unfortunate.
Like the people who will even lead me to the commissioner, let me explain my issue so we can write that.
It's just unfortunate it happened like that to you. But in all cases, whenever you have issue, there are different levels. You may go to, if you are a regular taxpayer at that office, you may have a relationship manager, somebody who always you deal with. That will be your relationship manager. Anytime you have tax issues, it's the person that you go to. If your relationship manager is not doing or treating you well, you can go to the head of the tax office. You don't need anybody's permission to go to the head of the tax office. You can just walk in there. I want to speak to the manager of this tax office. Once you are, if he's not in, it's just one day he's not in. It doesn't mean he won't be in throughout 365.
So, Isaac,
if that fails, you can also come to the head office. These are.
Would you admit Lexi wasn't treated fairly?
Of course. I mean, if anybody says that you go and somebody mistreats you like this, I don't think that is fair. Yeah.
All right, Showbiz Roundtable 7th edition, and we're talking about taxation and the creative economy. I think we should get back to the contributors and get some more questions. Headless YouTuber, I've not heard your question. Okay, all right. Jerry Wonder. Okay, let's take a question from Jerry Wonder. He's not spoken today. Jerry Wonder is with Shine Publications. Okay, Jerry.
Okay, so do I stand up? Okay, so my questions, I think there are 2 or 3. So I'm enjoying the conversation on events. I think events have really had it hard. Myself, I did the Ghana Hip Hop and R&B Music Awards way back 2011. Left the show with 20 Ghana cedis in my pocket, so I know what I'm talking about. And that's serious. Anybody who came to that show, you knew what happened.
The same year.
Just looking at my colleague's issue on taxation for online and new media. A sponsored ad on social media, on Facebook, costs for $15. The tax estimated VAT is $2.25. So my question is, where does this money go to?
Please say that again.
A sponsored ad. I was trying to do a sponsored ad on Facebook.
Okay.
The budget was $15. Okay. There's an estimated VAT on it for $2.25. So my question is, I can show it to you. My question is, where is that money going to? That's just one side.
Okay.
Then for my experience, I've seen that with the creative industry, there are 2 key players. There are those who are the artists and they're the business people. Latif just left here. Latif is an artist because he writes and he's also a business person. The business people are the ones who are the pillars, who are holding the industry, and they're very, very few. What you said with regards to the 5 years free tax period, under 35, most of them are over 40, myself included. So we might want to look at that. So my hold on just a minute. My submission is, your evidence is superior to the GRA's assessment. That's what you said.
Isaac.
Yes. So myself, I have my GRA.
Hey, you can
yes, I'm part. So you know me. My only problem is this. From my experience, when you go dormant, let's say for 2-3 months, and you don't pay, you don't file your tax returns or anything like that, you don't get notifications from GRA. Maybe you are caught up in something and it's piling. It can pile up for years. And the day you come to the GRA and try to make your case, no matter what happens, you must pay for all those. Yes. Can't we have a system? Because you have an online, I know now you have an online database of all the people. When you go there, they can just key in your name and the information will come out. So can't you have a system whereby after 2 months of non-compliance, GRA can reach out to you and say, hey, what's happening? And before or whilst the conversation is going on, you can freeze the accounts so that the debt is not accumulated. Because that one is also a big deterrent to most of us. The way GRA handles the penalty issues is very, very scary. So if you can look at that too, I think it will really help us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jerry Wonder. Do we take one more before we come for the answers? Parrot mouth. Okay. All right, still here on Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz Roundtable. Parrot, yes.
So I think my first question was not answered.
Okay.
I was asking that since you feel that we, the comedians, we have money, which I told you before, we don't have cars, we don't have house, we sleep in our parents' house, and you want to tax us for ticket and those things, we want to pay. Is it possible that, my question again, that you people will give us money to do the show? They will do the show. You will be at the gates, or you print the ticket for us with your money. So as we are selling, you are taking your money. You are selling, you are taking your money. We don't need bouncer. You will bring the bouncers. Your bouncers will be at the gates. Then you take your money. So just after, only you check the tickets, do the thing. When we finish, take your money that you give us to do the event. Take your 30%, 40%, so we will give you. Then the rest, give it to us. Thank you. Is it possible, sir?
Okay, let's start from Parrot.
Thank you very much. It is very...
Okay.
Once it's answered.
Okay, all right. Do you have a question for him?
See, it's not possible. We are not in the business of...
It's not possible. Okay. Nana, before you come with your question, we had a question from Jerry Wonder. And Jerry was asking where the VAT component on his sponsored ad goes to. That's the first question. Would you want to answer that, Isaac?
I think, Victor, you can answer
Yes.
that.
Okay. You see, VAT, we collect, GRA is responsible for collecting VAT. Okay. And if there is an evidence that he issued an invoice to someone for VAT, and he was charged the VAT, the VAT is expected to come to GRA. Okay, so the question is that did the person acknowledge the receipt of the money with the VAT invoice?
This is a sponsored ad on Facebook.
On Facebook?
On Facebook.
Okay.
Ad. Okay. Yes. He's verified that money comes to you.
Yes, Facebook, YouTube.
Okay. So
he's the one in charge of IT. So
for Facebook, these are entities we call non-residents.
All right.
Their platform is not registered in Ghana. The platform mostly, for some of them, are outside the jurisdiction of Ghana.
All right.
So we have a unit in GRA we call the e-commerce unit.
Very good.
The unit tries and engage with some of these non-resident platforms. Now look, we have a law in Ghana that says that you should charge VAT for citizens of Ghana who consume your platform.
Service.
So some of these, because they are very big, like Facebook, they've agreed and they've established a point of presence in Ghana. So when they take that money, for those big ones, they pay to GRA.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are some who have not still registered. And they are probably not even charging the VAT at all. And if they are taking it, they may probably not be giving it to GRA. But for those who have presence in Ghana, they give the money to GRA.
Okay, Isaac, notification.
Yes, notification.
Compliance.
Probably my advice to you is that maybe you should go back to your tax office and update your details, maybe your email and your the mobile number that was used. It's possible maybe the one who helped you use hers, or it's an old one. If you update it, I believe you'll get, because we do send such notification.
Okay, I think another question, Zike, were you the one that asked about the bank?
Yes.
Okay, so he was asking if it was not a breach of confidentiality because somebody's bank.
Said GRA, we operate with the laws of the country.
Okay.
When it comes to confidentiality and data protection, you know we have the data protection law. But in the law, there is an exception to the rule. The rule is that if the data is supposed to be used, one, for criminal investigation, the CID can take that data and they are not breaching your privacy. So that's one exception. The second exception, I believe you know the answer by now. If it's for tax purpose, so we've not breached your confidentiality because the confidentiality law itself says that we run the country on taxation. So why would you bar the taxman from? We don't have to go to courts. We don't have to go to court. We've also amended our law, the exchange of information that Victor talked about, where we ask the banks to furnish us with information on account holders. So that's another law that we rely on. So we are what we call the Revenue Administration Act. There's a provision in there that says that when the Commissioner General is interested in information on any citizen of Ghana or any person who is in Ghana, we have the right to go for that information, with or without your consent.
Okay. Nana, let me take your question.
On the back of
and then I come to Cyril. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you realize that when Ghanaians need to hold events, sometimes some people have gone to the extent of taking loans. Unfortunately, sometimes you cannot use intellectual property as barter for some of these loans.
Or as collateral.
As collateral. Sorry, as collateral.
In Ghana.
In Ghana.
Yes.
For some of these loans.
Yeah.
So what happens in such a case where GRA is not prepared to take that risk, but you're expecting someone who's running viable business to take that risk? What happens? Please, let's take note of this. And
have you thought about that?
Have you looked at it?
Intellectual property
as what?
As collateral.
But GRA, we don't.
Okay, so you just
I'm saying, so I go to the bank. I need support for my event. There are some cases where I can't use intellectual property as collateral. Do you get my point?
Okay.
Now, GRA won't give him the money to fund his event. And want to take the risk of doing it.
Okay.
However, you're asking somebody who is not enjoying a tax holiday or whatever it is to put their money in, take that kind of risk, calculated or uncalculated, to give an artist the money to do X, Y, and Z, so that he holds the show, knowing whether we're going to have profit or loss. Let's say we have loss. This young man already has things to settle beyond all the people he engaged, vendors he engaged. Now he has the bank to deal with, and you're also asking him to come and settle X, Y, and Z. So, AKA, you're just telling us GRA has an entrenched position, one.
Yeah.
Two, young people, if you cannot do it here, please get out of here quickly. I know a lot of young people who have gone out there. It's true. They're doing very well. I will advise any young person, based on these circumstances. I love Ghana. I love Ghana with all the noise, with all the filth, with everything. But please, we are being suffocated. If you have a better option anywhere, even if it's in Nigeria, which Nigeria is giving you fantastic options, please. Oniva.
But I don't think we should lose
Oniva, Alezi.
I don't think we should lose
hope in a lot of these quarters, Kwame, has been lost. No, hope in a lot of these quarters for a lot of people have been lost. I live in Ghana, I happen to live in Ghana, I have to do things. But really, my hope of making my career stand or build with these circumstances, unless we rewrite the system, otherwise, truth. Ghana will lose a lot more.
Victor, before I come to you,
a lot more.
Let's pick one question.
A lot more.
Cyril.
Yeah, so this is a quick one. It's not even a question.
Okay.
There was a sponsorship conversation, and then Mr. Victor said they do CSR. I would strongly suggest that these hundreds of thousands, millions that go to CSR, however huge the amounts are, be redirected in nurturing these new sectors that you are targeting for tax revenue in the bid to widen the net. Because it doesn't make quote-unquote business sense if we are the ones who are sitting on a $50 billion industry and we are not partners in attaining that goal, and GRA can take money to go and supply shoes somewhere else. I'm just giving an example. It is a noble cause, but I'm a strategy guy. If you help me to get $50 billion, we will build a shoe factory.
And give
Do
you
you
more.
understand me? So it looks like a misprioritization from where I stand. You understand? And I love the fact that Joy is putting together round tables like this. But you are the custodian of the tax. You want it maximized. Your CSR needs to be able to get me, him in a room, policymakers, etc. Spend that money and change the game. Thank you.
A good one there. I think this one deserves a round of applause. And okay, Seven Xavier is president for Ghana Music Alliance. He has a microphone now. Seven.
I was just wondering if there's been any type of interactions with GRA and let's say the ministry or the agency for the creative arts. There's a creative arts bill which has some tax components in there. Do they have any contribution at all to it? Are they connected in any way? Is the agency doing their own thing and GRA is doing their own thing? Because I think there's a 1% tax. I don't exactly recall what the 1% is for, but if what did you say?
Tourism fund is different from the. Is it a creative arts fund?
It was a creative arts fund. It was for the fund, or okay,
which is
that's
not
different.
Even operational yet.
Well, we are hoping to be operational soon.
Okay.
But the thing is, so I mean, after everything, there will be extra taxes. So if they are connected in any way, if they know what's going on.
Oh, okay. So, do you have any relationship with the creative arts agency? Have you done any meeting of a sort to streamline the creative
It's possible
industry?
a unit in our organization might have, but not that I'm privy to.
Yeah, we are not privy to that.
Okay. So let's say that blank levy, who collects it? I know it's GRA, but
what levy?
blank levy.
The blank levy for GAMRO?
Not just GAMRO, it's for three
the CMOs, for ASOC, Kobina, and then GAMRO.
The CDs and it used to be part of GRA's collection. Gamogram.
Yes, Gamogram.
Yeah, that one sits with GRA.
It's still with GRA?
Yes.
Still.
Okay. So, okay.
All right. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. You know.
Yeah, Kwame. I think that as we're moving into the phase that Victor spoke, that there's going to be a review of this VAT. All of that.
Yes.
I think that it's right for them to, like Cyril say, understand the industry better. Because when you look at the event space again, you are moving from physical tickets to the Star 7 whatever.
Yeah.
And the consumer pays tax on that when you buy that ticket. You know, when it's 100 cedi, they don't charge the consumer 100 cedi. There's a little bit of, whatever charge and everything on it. No, it's not tax. It's not tax. But it goes also into the
price. There are charges from the service provider, not from the government.
No, I'm not saying it's tax. I'm saying that it goes into that ticket sale. So looking at the whole 360, Cyril is saying that we must understand the industry. So if you understand the industry well, you understand the whole 360 view, you understand the withholding tax that you take from when we rent the things from the logistics suppliers, when we book like the comic and the other creatives, you take withholding. We look at that whole 360 tax and look at how a full event can function with probably a straight jacket or whatever we call it. So I pray that they try to understand it before they enter that stakeholder negotiation, before even our policyholders, who are probably not here but listening to us, enter this negotiation with them before these laws are passed. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let me come to the creatives. Let me take your final words way forward, and then I come to GRA. Uncle Francis.
Let me say that it's been a very meaningful conversation. We've learned a few things here. But I think one of the things that stands out for me is what Kojo said about looking at, creating specific laws or tax laws for different, sectors. So, for instance, if there's an entertainment tax, so that not everybody who works in every place will be paying the same tax. So there's no one-size-fits-all for everything. If you take, for instance, some countries, and I think we also need to learn, Ghana's tax is very high compared to other countries in Africa. Our VAT of 15% is 7.5% in Nigeria.
Okay.
And then we add all the other levies, which comes to about 22%. If you were in a particular area where it's communication, you add another to communication service tax of about 3%? 5%. 5%.
Yeah.
So that takes it to about 26%, which is very high. Now people will go and pluck how much people pay as DSTV in other countries and say that they are paying low, whereas they're not looking at how the price was built with the Ghana one in terms of the taxes that they add on. Because if you add tax, your price definitely will go up because eventually it is the person who is paying. So I think there's a need to look at our tax regime and look at how we can properly vary. Also in another market, for Kenya, for instance, South Africa, there's VAT of a certain percentage. I mean, South Africa is 16%, Kenya is 18%. But it's not everything that they charge tax on. There are some zero-rated, services. So there could be a possibility of looking at it and saying that even though tax VAT is 15%, maybe some particular areas, let's change it a bit, or let's zero-rate it or something. But, we seem to just say that it's a straitjacket. Everybody has to be in it. But if we could, based on all the conversation we have, understanding the nuances of a particular sector and saying that to help it grow, maybe we should vary the tax a bit or, find another way around it. I think that for me, that should be the takeoff from this discussion.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Francis. Let me come to Nanasas before I go to Lexi.
Okay, Kwame, so let me say, good news, bad news, which one do you want first?
Good news.
Good news.
You want the good news first?
Yes.
Okay. So the good news is it's good to pay taxes as a citizen. And beyond this, I'm hoping that we have the guarantee we're going to have a proper stakeholder forum so that we understand, we ask all the questions and understand, so that after they have taught, then they expect results. And some questions we've raised, some concerns we've raised here, GRA would really commit to say we want to go back and, explore all of these things so that the issues are clear and it's not so cumbersome to understand. And then moving on from there, we can proceed as partners, especially seeing that we will be partners in their education.
Yeah.
Bad news. He was saying, oh, because you're a popular person, people follow you. Please, when the people following us, go home. So there's nobody following us. Then what happens? Because once you appeal to somebody, you should expect feedback. You're appealing to me, am I willing or not? Otherwise it gives us a very straitjacket face, no option for the artist situation, which will get a lot of young people to get out of here. But please, young people, Ghana is not the only space. The market is big for what the things we do. Get out of here. When there was COVID, we had virtual shows. When there was COVID, we performed for clients who are not, here in Ghana. So please, explore. Your creativity is not limited to, to where you are caught. Yes.
Is there no longer hope in the flatulence of the bee?
There is hope in the flatulence of the bee. Does not deny the fact that the bee will also sting you. So it's risk. It's risk. So please, your art is meant for the world to enjoy, for the world to see. And in other spaces, trust me, you are valued. You're really appreciated. Once I as an elderly person, we're having a discussion about our art, our craft. I was representing a group of young people. And this respect was just too much. I asked him, if I was your child or your nephew, would you tell me the same thing? Seeing that your child has started up and is taking baby steps, would you encourage your child, or you'd push him down right from the start? These are some of the things we need to look at, because look, we would be handed over a future that is virtually rotten. As young people, as future leaders, let us get up and speak. So it's very important that as young people, as responsible citizens, we comment, we ask questions with all the respect, but we still need to ask the questions. So maybe good news, bad news delivered. Hopefully, let's have this conversation again. But thank you to the men from GRA.
Say Lexi before we go.
Honestly, I feel this conversation is one of those ones. Like, we'll finish, live here,
and nothing will happen.
Nothing will happen.
More fire.
I think we talk more and we do less. I saw them writing notes, but
Victor and Isaac proved him wrong.
Like nothing will really change. I have contemplated leaving this country like twice because I got tired at a point. But I don't know why. Somebody said, you follow passion. When last you see passion fruit? But I'm just hoping things get better. We are just banking our hopes on whether the narrative will change at some point. But from the look of, I don't know.
But that's not just your voice. That's the voice of
collective. Yeah. The comedians. He's a comedian. You saw the way he was talking.
Yeah.
Out of frustration, like. You see, as I said earlier,
For him, he likes Ghana.
Okay.
the industry is suffering, but the comedy industry and the poetry industry, we are suffering more.
Yeah.
So about
funny boy in it.
Funny boy in it. So on the 27th of September. Yeah. I want to give the venue, but give them free tickets. Oh, that's we'll give them free tickets.
Check the social media handles. So you are inviting us. Not invite them.
No. My show at Snap Cinema. Okay. One man came from GRA. He was seated there. I told him, boss, you see the numbers. He laughed. When I went to the girl, like, so how much are we? They don't just care, you know. But so on the 27th of September, it's happening at the UPS Auditorium. My fifth comedy special titled FBI, a funny boy in it. And I'm having comedians all the way from South Africa joining me. Chris Mapani and KJ Mopadi, and Ben South, General Tatia, Parrot Mouth, and MJ. A lot of guys are. I mean, the whole industry will be under one roof. Just come around. Let's have a good time. Ticket is going for 200 Ghana cedis regular. It's 200 Ghana cedis regular. 300 for double of the regular, and also 300 for VIP, 500 for VVIP. And come, let's have a good time.
Jairus, let me take Isaac. All the way to the and then Victor too. So let's go.
I think it's great. I can see the smiles. There's a lot that we gain for being part of Project Ghana, and we all want Ghana to laugh. I mean, I want this industry to be $1 billion project, and I'll be at his venue. I also pay the 200 and come and watch, and I think all of us will be happy.
When is that? Come and say that.
Okay.
Yeah. So for God and country, we appreciate your contribution, and we also want you to support GRA. Support Ghana and try to, collect the VAT for us. We go a long way to provide security for you, to provide for compensation for those who are providing security for us. We improve upon your road infrastructure. So please,
as for the road,
yes, the roads are not at its best because we don't have enough of the revenue. We don't have enough of the revenue. So please, the VAT is not your money, but the money of your consumers, and they are willing to pay. Yours is to ensure that you give the ticket to them, let them pay, let them come to the event, mobilize that aspect for us, and we will award you as we journey along with you. We pray your business will grow for God and country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And my takeaway is the fact that we've been told there is going to be a reform of the tax system, right?
Yes.
And that is good news for everybody. And we hope that it also translates into our creative industry. A big thank you to my producer, Philip Nye, supported by Anita Tay, and then Martin Owusu Esari. Olivier Fangnan was on social media with Knee Apness. And a big thank you to all the contributors, Quindalin, Parrot Mouth, Headless YouTuber. He didn't speak today. Cyril, ZK, Seven, Jerry Wonder, Abina Ruthie. Early on, I saw Socrates Safo also coming through. Lexi the Comic to you. Victor Yao Akogo to Isaac Kobina Amoako from the GRA. Kojo Poku to you. Francis Doku, Robert Klah, Latif Abubakar. And all of you who tuned in on radio, on television. It's been the Showbiz Roundtable 7th edition. My name is Kwame Dadzie, and to the entire crew, camera to you, director Juan Nyame, Maniaza, and everybody who helped this program. We're back some other time. Bye-bye.